Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another season of Upper St. Clair football. We are in week 0, and we're kicking off the season as our Panthers face the Greensburg Central Catholic Centurions. I am Gavin Williams, the voice of the Panthers, and I am happy to have alongside a 2016 Panther alum, a former standout on the line, and a Dayton Flyer, Ryan Harkerode. Harks, thanks for joining me today.
No, great to be here, Gav. Nothing better than Friday night high school football.
Yeah, we got the Friday night lights. I know it's been long overdue. We actually have a nice crowd in attendance. And Harks, a couple things to sort of set the scene. The Panthers have a lot of turnover in terms of the roster. They graduated all but 5 starters, so we're going to see a lot of new faces. But one thing I do want to mention is it's very warm. It's very muggy. The Panthers play a lot of guys both ways. Greensburg obviously has a small 1A school. They don't have many guys. How do you see that sort of playing into the game tonight?
Well, especially defensively attacking GCC, it should be able to tire a lot of those guys out to be playing both ways. If St. Clair can sustain those quick drives, turn and get them turned over and keep GCC on the field defensively, they should be able to get some explosive plays down the field as the game rolls on.
I know one position that's going to get a lot of focus this year is at the quarterback spot for the Panthers. Everything quarterback Ethan Dallin, who started for the last couple of years, has graduated, moved on to Case Western, and right now it's going to be junior Brady Erdos who's going to get the first look at the quarterback spot. But the Panthers, if you watch the scrimmage against West Mifflin, do a bunch of different things at that position. You're probably going to see starting tailback Ethan Heister in the Wildcat. You're also going to see starting flanker Mateo Sapolio, who can throw and run. So I look for them to be very multiple today.
Yeah, it should be interesting to see how they utilize all those fantastic skill players throughout the game. I'm really interested to see how they can attack their mismatches up front.
So here comes your Panthers, very, very fired up. And, I don't think there's any way to replicate the emotion from the first game of the season. You've been beating up on each other for a while. What do you flash back to in terms of first games?
I mean, especially running out in that field, if you're a sophomore, first time running out in the varsity lights, it's the best feeling in the world. But anyone, like you said, you're beating up on each other all summer, all winter in the weight room, and all spring out in the field 7-on-7. It's almost a sigh of relief running out in that field, and definitely going to be some energy flowing through those guys to start the game.
Yeah, so I had the opportunity to talk to several of the St. Clair coaches. Obviously, there's a lot of uncertainty. They watched some film from GCC from last season, but there's only so much that I can tell you. But the one thing they talked about is they say they have a very big, strong running back. They expect him to try to get downhill against the Panthers, but Coach Robbins both said to me he thought one of the main advantages from the Panthers tonight could be their speed on the flanks in terms of Mateo Sapolio, Aiden Besselman, and Nick DeRubis on the outside in terms of the wide receivers.
Yeah, I mean, as you know, speed kills. Coach Junk likes to throw that ball deep, so it'll be interesting to see how the Panthers can take advantage of their speed mismatches on the outside.
So we got the coin toss. Before we get started, I already have my first shout-out on via text message. John Sekernick, who just arrived to Columbus, Ohio at Ohio State, just sent me a picture of him with his computer screen with the game up. Johnny, I miss you already. It's good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. All right, so the coin toss has been set. It looks like I didn't hear exactly what happened, but the Panther captains, I believe, were Wyatt Koval on the line, Ethan Heister, number 24, who's all everything, Nick Chimento, very good defensive end, and I didn't see who the 4th captain was. I apologize, although it may have been Nick DeRubis, number 15. So what's the other thing that's going to be very interested to see from the Panthers is last year they played with a ton of tempo, kind of a spread type system, which is we talked about how hot it is. We talked about how difficult it is to sort of maintain that, and especially if you're playing both ways. I wonder if the Panthers will try to be a little bit slower, given they're playing a lot of guys both ways. They have to deal with this too, or if they're just going to go pedal to the metal.
Yeah, I mean, like we touched on, it could be a significant advantage for the Panthers against a slim GCC team. I mean, not a lot of depth, 1A school, but also, like you said, in this heat, cramps are going to be brutal. It's going to be a lot of fatigue out there, so maybe a little tone back to start.
Okay, so kicking it off as the Panthers here, number 99, sophomore Bennett Henderson, who he's got a pretty impressive leg. It'll be interesting to see Matt Russell, a junior, does a lot of the place kicking in terms of some of the closer field goals. Henderson has the big leg. So I'm going to point this out only because the Panthers' special teams coverage last year was excellent. They seemed to pin people deep a lot. They were winning the field position battle, and that ends up being a big deal against a team like this, who I think is going to be more methodical rather than big plays. So hopefully they can keep pinning people deep. A lot of starters out here on the special teams for the Panthers too, covering kicks.
Yeah, special teams has always been something that the Panthers have taken pride in all the way back to the Coach McKinney days. So good to see that it's still important here.
And we're off to start the 2021-22 season. The kickoff is muffed. Here comes Heister. Great coverage from Ethan Heister. Beautiful stuff. Ivory Travers, the junior linebacker, also filling in. And talk about field position. The Greensburg Central is going to start on their own 10-yard line.
I mean, other than a turnover, that's about the ideal way you want to start a football game.
That's beautiful stuff. So, okay, the Panthers are coming out on defense. Let's set the scene. We've got number 55, Mark Banbury, number 90, Nick Chimento, and number 61, Wyatt Koval on the line of scrimmage. The 4 linebackers are Ivory Travers, 11, who you just saw, Jamal Brown, number 7, who we're going to talk about a lot. Also in the middle, Ethan Heister, number 24, number 5, Brady Bartusiak. And it looks like, I can't tell, is that 43? Looks like that's Ty Lagoni on the outside, number 43. Aiden Besselman is the free safety that we're seeing, number 4. Here comes GCC, little fake handoff. Left-handed quarterback, here comes Heister. He's got him, and Koval's got him. Is that going to be a safety? No, the ball's marked at the 1.5-yard line, but beautiful pressure. Ethan Heister was in the backfield quickly.
Yeah, you saw the Panthers come out there, a little 3-3-5 stack, run pressure from the outside linebacker nickel position, and just no one picked it up for GCC.
Yeah, and it's weird because that quarterback's left-handed, so his blind side was there, and the Panthers got him. So that's a beautiful start, a dream start for the Panthers. I also want to mention the 2 cornerbacks because those are the only 2 guys. So we have Jacob Hupnagel, number 10, the junior, on this side of the screen, and then Mateo Cipollio, who you recognize, the standout, on the high side of the screen. So we have got 2nd and 18-yard line here, or 2nd and 18 to go. Looks like a draw. Nowhere to go. Standing tall, Wyatt Koval, number 61, on the stop.
Yeah, interesting to see the Panthers coming out, like I said, in that base 3-3-5, but they're always kind of working their way, it looks like, to a 4-down front, walking one of those nickel backers all the way up on the end of the line of scrimmage, making sure their gaps are sound.
They expected to get it pounded at them, and that's kind of what we're seeing. So, it doesn't surprise me they're kind of creeping some guys up there. They're back to throw here. He's scrambling a little bit. This is Dlugos, the quarterback. Oh, Heister crushed him. It's up in the air. Travers got it for a touchdown. Unbelievable play. Heister with arguably his 2nd sack of the game. The ball popped up in the air, and Ivory Travers picks it off for a Panther touchdown. 6-0 Panthers early.
Yeah, that was incredible. Sideline fired up. Coach Coors down there yelling them to get back, but that's awesome to see to start the game.
Well, we talked about them having a dream start by pinning them deep. That is the ideal world, unbelievable start. Great pressure. Again, Ethan Heister's all over the field already.
Takes a ton of pressure off the offense when the defense gets you going like that. I mean, like you said, ideal start.
All right, so it is going to be Henderson in here to start. Ty Lagoni is the holder. Looks like we're having some issues in terms of personnel, but Panthers got some time here. And Lagoni's a catcher on the baseball team, so it kind of makes sense. He's your holder as well. Good athlete. Snap is true, the hold is down, and Henderson drills it through the uprights. With 10 minutes and 40 seconds to play in the first quarter, the Panthers already lead 7-0. All right, so now alternatively, Parks, if you're Greensburg Central, how do you regroup after something like that? Do you just say it was kind of a fluke field position-wise, or do they have to really try to figure out how to come, the Panthers are coming with numbers and they got to figure out how to protect?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, your focus should be on this KOR right here, this kickoff return, getting a good return set up, getting out of your coming out area, the 0 to the 10-yard line. So you want to get out of that area, get past the 20-yard line, and kind of give your offense some room to breathe. They can spread it out. You saw they wanted to do a couple things with motion, a couple things with the quarterback running the ball a little bit. So the more space they have to do those kind of things, the better. So they just really need to focus on getting this kick return to an area where it's more reasonable for them.
Yeah, I'll be very interested to see if GCC tries to go a little more downhill, a little more direct at him. That's what I expected to see and haven't yet. But, again, you get behind the sticks, you get bad field position, all of a sudden sometimes your strategy changes. And, obviously not the way they wanted this game to go from the beginning. But hopefully Henderson can have another good long directional kickoff like he did the first time.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to give the Panthers credit, too. I mean, first 3 plays of the game, they gave 3 completely different fronts out of the same base defense. So kind of making the quarterback think, whether it's RPO, read option, something like that, making him think, making him second-guess himself. That's when you see those big negative plays like you saw there.
All right, so the same guys are back for GCC. We've got Amari Mack, number 5, back to return it. He is a junior, and we've got number 20, Jaden Kennedy, also a junior.
Back deep, number 5, Amari Mack, and number 20, Jaden Kennedy.
It's another good directional kick. Inside the 10, taken here. This is Kennedy. Lagoni forces him wide. Good job. Lagoni did a good job on contain there, forcing him to sideline, and then Jake Hoffnagel did a nice job tackling him on the sideline right about the 20.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you see right there Hoffnagel's responsibility is to kind of filter that all the way back down at the sideline. Great job there. Another great kickoff.
Yeah, Huff's a great athlete. He's a two-sport guy, plays lacrosse, also played hoops early on his freshman year, so he's a really competitive kid. Good to see him getting some early reps out here. So, okay, now we've got a little more conventional set there, kind of in a pistol, but we've got the big back behind, and here we go. No. Boy, Koval was in the backfield there, almost at the handoff, and really disrupted that play. Bartusiak came in and finished it off. But that's so. Interestingly enough, DeLugo's number 6, the quarterback, and then 18 is Danny DeLugo's. So I'm assuming they're brothers. It's not really a common last name. There are 3 of them on the roster.
Well, they say it's a family operation there at Greensburg Central Catholic, so I'm not surprised.
I guess. One's a junior, one's a senior. The quarterback's a junior, the back's a senior. So, okay, 2nd and 9 here for the Panthers. Looking really good in terms of control and line of scrimmage so far. Looks like a check with me here. They're waiting. Got a guy in motion. He gets the ball. There's a little bit of a hole. Oh, nice job. It looked like that play was going to bounce for a little bit, and Ty Lagoni, number 43, stuck his arm out, tripped him up for only about a 3-yard gain.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked. You saw it a little there. The check with me. First down, St. Clair showed a cover 0 look where they were kind of leaving it up to anyone. They were flat 0 cross, everyone manned up. So if that's the case, you might see GCC go to a little check with me, try and beat him over the top.
Yeah, they had a little bit of a different formation than the Panthers did. Number 34, Matthew Gaither, was on the field. He's one of my guys. And now 35, Hunter Schreck is in what I guess is probably the equivalent to their nickel here as we got 3rd and 6. Once again from the pistol, he's looking long sidelines. He's going down the middle. Besselman's there. Oh no! Oh my gosh! So Besselman read that beautifully, but the ball kind of sailed, and I think he misread it. It tipped, and it was almost a sort of flukish deflection for a long pass. Fortunately, it ended up being incomplete, 4th down.
Yeah, drop 8 there from the Panthers, only rushing 3. Still got a little bit of pressure. They got pretty lucky that ball didn't go for a long one, because you hate to see something fluky like that happen.
And number 4, Aiden Besselman, is just a marvelous athlete. You're going to have to watch him at the safety position because he has such good instincts. He gets so many steals in basketball. I'm guessing he's going to be a guy who's going to force some turnovers this year.
Phenomenal job of tracking the ball there as well.
All right, so we have Mateo Sapulio, who was very dangerous in the return game last year, number 2, the senior who just committed to Akron for baseball. Congratulations to Mateo. It's kind of a short kick. Here comes Mateo up to it. He doesn't have a whole lot of room. He slips 1 tackle, but a nice true tackle by the 2nd man. But good field position for the Panthers, all the way up at their own 47.
Yeah, excited to get our first look here at the Week 0 Panthers offense.
All right, so let's set the scene for the offense. I know the expected starters, but I'm trying to look in the huddle. The line of scrimmage, at least the expected line, is supposed to be from the outside. We got Chase Rosenberry, number 77, at the 1 tackle position. Mark Banbury at guard, number 55. Number 51, Tyler Kirk, is our center. Number 75, Big Marcus Fennell on the 1 side, and Wyatt Koval, number 61, who you've seen on the defensive side of the ball. This is Ivory Travers kind of at the tight end spot. And the wide receivers, as I mentioned, are Sapulio, Besselman, and DeRubis. Heister behind Brady Erdos, the junior quarterback. Here comes Heister. And they tackled him for a short gain. It looked like about an off-tackle right, maybe a yard, not a whole lot there for the Panthers.
Yeah, GCC did a good job there. They brought the mic at the backside A-gap, and the nose tackle did a good job of getting into his gap responsibility and filling that up.
Yeah, I know the Panthers are one of the things they really want to work on. They did not do a very good job consistently last year running the football. They were sort of erratic, and they want to try to establish that this year. They feel like the line's better equipped to do it. 2nd and 9. Erdos now to Heister. Oh, nice cut at the line. Heister makes a guy miss. He gets to the outside. Good cut back. Oh, he leaves his feet. It's a little bit dangerous there. I'm not sure you want to see him doing that, but that's about a 10-yard gain all the way down to the GCC 41. 1st down, Panthers.
Yeah, and you almost said just like they heard you down there, Gav. The key to a great running game, obviously you need the guys up front to be blocking well, but you saw both receivers there getting downfield, making good blocks. That's a key to making 10-yard runs, 20, 30-yard runs.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Very good misdirection and receiving block because they run wide a lot. So here we go. Panthers are going quick. Heister, now this is a fake. Here comes Erdos on the rollout. He has Ivory Travers. Travers has a lot of room here on the rollout. Oh, he makes a man miss. Nice move by Travers, the junior tight end, with a 1st down to the 30. Good start for Ivory Travers.
Yeah, nice move, great play design, and great job by the quarterback kind of letting up there. Defensive end coming off the edge and stepping up a little bit and making the dump off the tight end for a nice gain.
Yeah, good stuff, Murdos. If you're a coach, you got to be really pleased about Ivory Travers. He's made plays in special teams, defense, and offense. That's exactly what you like to see when guys are playing all the way. And here comes Jamal Brown into the game as the sidecar back, number 7. Very explosive. Oh, they got him. Here comes Jamal on a little. Oh, he makes a man miss. He gets to the outside. Another stop and go. To the 15, to the 10. Here comes Jamal. JB gets all the way to the 5. Just a beautiful little shake and bake. 25-yard gain from Jamal Brown down to the 5, first down Panthers.
Yeah, we said earlier at the start that St. Clair likes pushing the ball down the field, but that was just good old-fashioned power to the left and made a man miss, pulling guard, got it to the second level, and that's what happens.
You like to think it's like a thunder and lightning type combo, but it's not really. They're both very strong, both very physical in the weight room. They run a little bit differently. Heaster's more of a bit of a slasher. JB will try to make people miss, but they are both really strong and really tough to bring to the ground.
Yeah, really well-balanced runner.
All right, so here we go. The Panthers are in business here. It looks like Gaither's now in a tight end. Oh, and they sent the house there, and JB's met in the backfield for about a 2-yard loss. He had no chance there.
Yeah, one of those situations, an offensive lineman, you kind of look up, you have 5 guys, they brought 6, nothing you can do there.
Yeah, so, GCC, like I said, they're not going to sit back and try to be passive here. They're going to try to get a goal line stand. They don't want to get down 14-0 this early in the football game. Maybe they can get some momentum here if they can get hold them to 3. All right, so we are at 2nd and goal to go from the 8-yard line. Erdos is now going to go back into a pistol formation. Sidecar left is Jamal Brown. Here comes Mateo in motion. Fakes it. Now Jamal up the middle. Great little cut touchdown. Easy stuff for the Panthers. They are up 13-0. Beautiful stuff from Upper St. Clair.
Great play you saw. Jamal hit the big gain and the power to the left. They just brought that power to the right. Same play, just with a little jet misdirection there. Beautiful hole opened up right up the middle, and he creased it for a touchdown.
Yeah, and that's classic Mike Junko offensive football in terms of it just gets very multiple. It gets very confusing in terms of where guys are going, who has the ball. And, hey, if you can't be straight power, you can trick them, and they're doing a beautiful job.
That's what a lot of the great offenses do. They have 10 base plays, but they throw them at you 15 different ways each.
So that's Henderson tacking on the extra point. 6:36 to go in the first quarter, and this is a great, great start for the Upper St. Clair Panthers. They lead Greensburg Central 14-0. All right, so obviously this is the exact start you want to see if you're a Panther. Now, in terms of strategy going forward for both teams, if you're GCC, do you try to open it up, try to hit a long play to try to change the momentum, or do you try to stay the course just to get a first down and kind of try to reestablish some momentum?
Yeah, so we're about at the point of the game where usually the offense like to script the first 15 plays. You're still in that script, but this might be a point in time, really hasn't worked out for you. Maybe you throw out the script and kind of try and improve on some things that weren't on the script or work on some things that weren't on the script. So it'll be interesting to see if they come out kind of what they've been doing or if they try and change things up a little bit.
And I assume defensively from St. Clair, it's business as usual. They're bringing a lot of pressure. They're trying to kind of confuse them. That formation obviously is a little bit funky. It's tough to know sometimes whether some of the outside backers are coming or fading back into coverage. Like you said, they dropped 8 on the 3rd down play.
Yeah, I mean, just in terms of an offensive lineman perspective, 3 down front is the most difficult front to block because you almost have to key the linebackers per se, where you need to look at the safeties, then you need to key those linebackers. So it's very hard and it's very complicated for especially high school offensive linemen to do. So I would assume the Panthers are going to continue to go forward. That little exotic look has been helping them out a lot here.
Yeah, so the Panthers they do have some different faces on some of the special teams. They've done a really good job so far. Number 17, Tim Spears, has been out there. Number 33, Aiden Kahn is out there. Matthew Gaither, 34. So we got 52, Zachy has. Lagoni's out there, 43, 10 Huffnagel. Henderson kicking it, another very good kick all the way to the 5. Oh, he drops it again, Kennedy does. He tries to cut back in the middle. Lagoni has him, not quite down there. Besselman coming in to finish him off, but still only to the 20-yard line. The ball came out, but I'm pretty confident his left knee was down. So Centurions will start at the 20.
Yeah, great lane discipline there from the Panthers, something any special team coach is going to love to see, guys staying in their lanes and filtering the ball carrier back to all their help.
Yeah, I thought last year, like I said, everybody gives up a big play or two in special teams, but I thought they were really gap sound, and I was very impressed the way they played, and off to a really good start this year. So now it looks like Aiden Kahn, number 33, another one of my Hoopers, is in here at left outside linebacker, so they're sort of adjusting that position. Throw to the outside here, a little high. Huffnagel closes. It's going to be a catch for about 4. But Huff did a good job closing him down. But that'll give them a little bit of confidence. They completed a pass there.
Yeah, it was a good read there by GCC. like I said, you kind of have to key the linebackers based on where the safety would. You see Aiden there was no safety behind him. The quarterback kind of was able to tell then he can't be coming, so I have man coverage on the bottom of the field here.
And you have Tim Spear here, also number 17, subbing in at the free safety position. Obviously, you've guys like Besselman who are playing both ways a lot. You're going to try to spell them when you give a chance. Heister went out at tailback last possession, and I think they're going to try to do that, keep people fresh, hot night. Dlugos is back again. He's looking to his left this time. Banbury almost got him. He cuts back. Travers comes in and finishes him off, along with big Marcus Fennell. So now you got about 2 or 3 there, but it looks like it's going to be a 3rd and 4. So pretty good pursuit there from the Panthers.
Yeah, definitely something you got to love to see. As a defensive coordinator, they're still getting pressure with just 3 guys and dropping 8 in coverage. It makes it very hard. No one's open down the field. You got 8 guys covering 5, so it's going to be difficult here if Panthers can continue to get pressure with 3 people up front.
Yeah, and the Panthers are substituting on the defensive line. Like I said, they have Fennell, Ehas in the game here, and so Banbury's really the only one who's kind of playing every play here. Back to play here. No, this is a quarterback draw. Banbury looked like he got held there in the corner. Yeah, they called it.
Yep, they got it.
So Banbury was protesting furiously, and if you know Mark Banbury, first of all, he's virtually unblockable. Second of all, he's very, very, very intense, and he probably made his disappointment there vocal, and they called it. So that's going to be a pretty big penalty, because that was well into the backfield, and that was going to be the first down for the Centurions. So it's got to be a little frustrating from their standpoint.
I may have had that exact same reaction that Mr. Banbury's had right there a couple times when you get held up a little bit. It's the most frustrating thing.
But that one is right at the point of attack, so it's kind of tough to miss. I know they say you can call holding every play. If it's blatant right at the point of attack, you're probably more likely to see it whistled.
Yep, point of attack, hands out of frame. It's going to be a flag every time.
Okay, so now they got a long way to go here. This is about 13 or 14 yards here on 3rd down. He's looking downfield. Oh, they got a guy. That's a beautiful throw. Mack into the seam. Here he goes. And that's really an excellent pass. It looked like the Panthers were in some sort of zone coverage, and he sort of split the seam. Well thrown, well delivered, well caught, and that is a big gain for the Centurions all the way into Panther territory.
Yeah, it looked like either cover 3 or cover 1 there, and that they both seam routes up the middle, and the safety kind of had to pick or choose which way to go. A nice throw by the quarterback, great read.
Yeah, Mari Mack's got some speed. He's one of the kick returners, and that's not an easy pass to throw. So you got to give your junior quarterback credit there to get it in there into that little window.
Yeah, definitely a tight window throw.
All right, so that's going to give the Centurions a little bit of confidence here. Best field position, and they're going to be in motion. There looks like the fullback kind of started going forward before the snap. So they're going to back them up 5. You're probably really frustrated if you're one of the Centurion coaches right now. You make your best play of the game, you start to get field position, you start to get and then you get a pre-snap penalty.
Yeah, it's almost 1 step forward, 2 steps backwards there. 2 killer penalties. They were able to overcome the holding, but once you start getting momentum, what you like to do as a play caller is continue to build on that momentum, and something that you don't want to see is right away false start.
My guess is pre-snap penalties probably pretty common week 1 or week 0.
Oh, definitely. I mean, a lot of these guys, like we said, they're still practicing against each other. They've had 1 scrimmage, so you're going to see a lot of that stuff early on in the year.
This looks like another QB draw. This is going nowhere. Banbury from the backside, but honestly, number 52, Zach Ehas, did a great job holding up the play, and Brady Bartusiak, number 5, had great contain on the outside, and Banbury came from the weak side, cleaned it up. Big loss. I'll tell you what, Harks, it just seems like, particularly on the running plays, there's just not much there right now.
Yeah, not getting much movement up front, and even when they are, you saw the one play, they had a big run, and there was holding penalty, so yeah, Panthers front 3 doing a really good job so far.
Yeah, very stout, great stuff. So, okay, we're at 2nd and 18 here. I'm guessing they're going to go back to the passing game. They will. They're going to go downfield. Looks like they got pass never really had a chance in terms of was well out of bounds, but I thought Mateo Sapulio had really good single coverage there on the outside.
Yeah, they're showing a lot of trust in Mateo over there, one-on-one, no safety help, and hey, I guess he gave me even more faith because he locked him down.
So Chimento back in for more of a pass rushing situation. Fennell's more of a run stopper. The coaches did tell me they have a lot of confidence in terms of their border corners. So you may see that some this year. I mean, frankly, they got gashed a lot in the run last year. Maybe they're a little bit more focused and committed to stopping the run, and if people are going to beat them vertical in the passing game against their athletes, okay, we deal with it.
If you got the guys outside to make stops like that and have coverage like that, it's a huge benefit to the defense. The more people you can stack into the box.
Oh, there's a lot of trouble here. Jamal Brown up the middle. He has. And oh boy, Hunter Schreck in there as well. This is really difficult right now for DeLugos. He is just under siege every time he drops back. Big loss.
By number 72, Jackson Howe.
Oh, is that Jackson Howe, number 72? I apologize if that's who that was, because the junior was really in there, and that's outstanding stuff from the Panthers. They are really pursuing the ball heavy here.
Yeah, and it looks like they're going to get good field position again to start their offensive drive. So.
Yeah, well, just like we talked about, Harks, one step forward and 3 steps back. I mean, they had decent field position. All of a sudden, they are 20 yards back from where they were.
Yeah, and to boot, Upper St. Clair looks like they're going to take over around the 50-yard line again.
Oh, it's blocked. I couldn't tell who got it, but they should pick. Oh, no, he just fell on it. I guess that's fine, obviously. I couldn't tell who had the actual block. EAS picks it up, and the Panthers are just in business.
They had a whole host of black jerseys in the backfield there. It looked like we had a couple missed assignments up front on the punt unit.
That was a total breakdown. So the Panthers, once again, in fact, I mean, the field position has just been unbelievable so far from the Panthers. Going to give a shout out to one of my own, class of 1997, my main man Lauren Anderson, one of my most dedicated loyal watchers. He thinks that early play was a safety, by the way. He thought the forward progress call. He's sending me screenshots of the television cast. Lauren, I trust you, buddy. I'm sort of up high. I can't really tell. But, boy, you cannot say enough about the Panther defense right now. I think there's only been 1 first down allowed, and they've forced basically 2 turnovers. So.
Safety or not, it really hasn't mattered much so far.
No, it has not. So Panthers once again in business. It'll be interested to see if they keep the ball on the ground, because really they haven't stopped it, or if they go to the air and let. Now we got Heister here in the Wildcat with JB next to him, going straight ahead. See, that's what I love about Heister. There didn't look like there was a whole lot there. He recognized that right away. He didn't dance or anything like that. He went straight up the middle, gashed him, still got about 4 yards.
No indecision sometimes as a back. If there's no big hole there, you just got to plow your way into the line and get the most out of it you can.
So these are going to be fascinating for me when Heister and Sapolio are in there, because they can both throw. You're going to see number 24 back there. You're going to think, well, it's just Wildcat. He can throw, and Sapolio can really throw. I'll be interested to see if it sort of sucks the defense up, and then maybe they try to throw the ball a couple times.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things that makes this offense that already does a lot of dynamic things even more multiple and hard to defend.
Yeah, and Erdos is athletic in terms of the actual starting quarterback, so he can run too. They have a lot of dual-threat guys. So this is Heister going downhill again and making him pay there. Jamal Brown did a nice job moving the pile, but he only got about 2 there, I'd say. So this is probably the first legitimate third and kind of medium, 3rd and 5 type situation. But I like, they're still getting forward yards. They're not putting themselves in 3rd and long behind the sticks. This is good stuff still from the Panthers.
Yeah, a little QB counter there. We've seen the power. We've seen the counter now. A lot of gap scheme plays for the Panthers up front.
So it looks like number 34, Matthew Gaither, is now in kind of at a wing position. He's in the slot. He's kind of sort of a tight end wingback type player. 3rd and 5 here from the 9. Yeah, it looked like 2 guys. It actually looked like almost the entire left side of the line backed up for the Panthers. So now Erdos is going to come back on as we're in a more traditional passing situation.
I think they might have been faking the screen there to Jamal and hitting the slot over the middle. They had that one wide open. GCC had 7 guys in the box that were all coming and manned up on the outside, and they were really shooting that swing pass.
I love that play, actually. We ran that last year a lot to Dave Pantelis for a lot of success. So, okay, this will be interesting now. This is, like I said, this is the first kind of true clear passing situation. Besselman, they're trying to play press coverage with Besselman at the bottom of the screen. I'm not sure anybody can guard him like that. Here comes Sapolio. Oh, what a pass. Just gorgeous. What a throw from Erdos. So it looked like almost like sort of like an out there or a corner pattern, and that ball was just perfectly thrown because he wasn't wide open. Great play from Sapolio, the senior flanker. 20-0 Panthers.
That was just good defense, better offense. Simple as that. We're going to put the ball in our playmakers' hands and trust them to go make a play.
Yeah, so it was interesting. They had Besselman single coverage on the bottom of the screen. They had 2 guys up, or 2 or 3 up there, but they kind of used each other as a little bit of a rub, and just beautiful stuff from the Panthers, executing beautifully.
Great throw, great catch.
So Henderson on again. He's been perfect to the night, 3 of 3 from the extra points. We're still in the first quarter, 39 seconds left to play. 21-0 Panthers. And this is the type of start to the season that gives you confidence, that can embolden you in terms of going forward. And it's just exactly what you wanted to see, because there's always uncertainty heading into week 0, and the Panthers have passed every test so far.
Yeah, definitely fantastic start. And what you want to see going into the second quarter and into halftime is consistency across that 21-0 start, but you want to see that carry over through the quarter into the second half.
Yeah, and the other fun part about this, and it's really difficult to sort of ascertain because you never know level of competition, but you always have the opportunity to, I don't feel like these guys are going to be a challenge. They're an single A school. Sometimes you mentally play down the level of your competition. We're not seeing any of that tonight.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it also be a great opportunity now, too. You can see what you have in some of your backups, some of your, second tier, second string players, see if we need you on Friday nights, can you compete?
Yeah, and I mean, everybody who's sort of checked in line, they've played a lot of guys, and I was told the expectation was to play a lot of guys. One guy I want to give a shout out to here, number 50, would have been the starting middle linebacker, Shea Moorhead. Broke his femur, out for the season. Shea Moorhead is outstanding in terms of just as a football player and as a kid, hard worker. Feel very, very bad for him. Shea, get better. We look forward to having you back on the gridiron next year, buddy. We really miss you. But you'll see number 50 down there, blonde-haired and crutches. Shea's probably down there all fired up, cheering on his teammates. That's the type of kid he is. And Shea is definitely going to be missed this season.
Teammates been picking him up so far.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to be ecstatic at what he's watching.
Most definitely.
All right, so is Henderson going to go left here again? He's basically had the same kickoff every single time. So if you notice, Mack came all the way over to field it this time as opposed to Kennedy. Here comes Heister. Great stuff from Ethan. So interesting. He came all the way over to field that kick. Actually caught it sort of cleanly, but Ethan Heister is just a dynamite special teams player. He's also the punter, and he makes an impact in all three phases of the game.
Yeah, I mean, that was, again, fantastic coverage. Nothing much you can say. I mean, special teams so far for the Panthers in all three phases of the game been about as A-plus of a start as you can have.
It's tough to stop people generally. If you're giving people long fields the entire night, you're really giving your defense the best chance to get stops, to get off the field, and get the ball back to your offense.
And it's so demoralizing for an offense to come out drive after drive after drive, not with great field position, and it's almost gives the defense even a little more juice coming out. Hey, we got them backed up. We already scored a touchdown. We had them backed up. Let's go get another one.
So number 51, Tyler Kirk, is in at left end this time. In terms on the defensive side, he's the starting center on the offense. But he's getting a little love on the defensive side of the ball as the rotation continues. Otherwise, pretty much a lot of the base starting defense in. So this time they go right at it downhill, but this is, instead of having Big DeLugos back there, that looks like Mack, who caught the first down reception, and he got a pretty decent game. Got a couple, maybe two or three.
Yeah, it's about what we expected off the top. We haven't seen that much. Maybe GCC is switching up their game plan a little bit.
Well, I mean, you want to possess the ball. I mean, the time of possession is probably extremely one-sided so far. So that is going to take us to the end of the first quarter here. No? Yeah, they're going to run it down here. So if you are a Panther fan, you have got to love what you've seen from the first quarter of the 2021-22 season. The Panthers lead 21-0 after one.
21, Greensburg Central Catholic 0.
So, Harks, think back here to your time in Panther black and white. What were some of your favorite moments on this playing field in terms of in your years here?
Well, I go back to one that I think of, especially here at Panther Stadium, was our senior year. We opened up against Penn Hills, and we opened up at Penn Hills the year before, and we did not play well, played poorly, and it was kind of a prove-it game for us, go out and show what we could do, and we actually held what we had thought that was going to be at the time one of the most explosive offenses we were going to face all year to 0 points in that game. It was a locally televised game. It was the rivalry series game of the week, so it was very excited, especially starting off your senior year like that, holding someone to 0 points on a televised game was definitely one of my favorite memories here at this field.
I definitely remember that game. That was a fabulous game. I've been watching, obviously, these games for a long time. Since there are certain things that do stick with you, and we talk about this all the time, but there's just no real way to replicate this. The Friday night lights, the high school football, the feeling, the pageantry, it really is wonderful, and you play like this and you are really, really fired up, and the Panthers have come out and just done everything right so far in the first 15. All right, so we set the stage here. We got about 2nd and 8 in Greensburg Central. They probably put their heads together over there and thought, what can we possibly do to bring out to get a first down, get some field position, and try to reestablish any sort of momentum on the offensive side of the ball?
Yeah, their main focus right now should be just sequencing positive plays together, just getting a little momentum on their side. not worrying about the scoreboard right now. Let's just string a couple positive plays together and then go from there.
So it looks like they handed it to the guy coming in motion, but again, the Panthers are tracking the ball carrier well. They don't appear to be fooled. That was Brady Bartusiak, the senior, number 5, with a nice tackle.
Yeah, one thing that we mentioned earlier with the Panthers run game, the receivers were getting out and being physical in the run game there, and you see kind of the Panthers defensive backs and outside linebackers almost taking it to the GCC receivers and blowing up those plays in the edge.
So we got about 3rd and 6 here, and again, this is one of those scenarios here where if you are GCC in the shadow of your own end zone, you have got to find a way to move the sticks here. But the Panthers have been really stingy, and let's see if it continues. Gallegos is back. He runs a little quick out to Mack. I don't think he got to the stick, though. He definitely did not get to the lead stick. I'll be honest, I don't really see the point of that. There was no way, as tight as the Panthers are playing right now, he was going to get 3 more yards.
Yeah, as again, that drop 8 again, kind of playing sticks defense. You just drop to the sticks and play everything up in front of you, and the Panthers did a great job rallying to the ball there.
Yeah, they really did. Good coverage from Huffnagel, and they've done a very good job keeping everything in front of them and being really physical, as you've said. And when you are a corner, I guarantee the thing that's in the back of your head is, well, I don't want to get beat. If you can really keep everything in front of you like that and come up and tackle the catch, you're really doing your job.
Yeah, it's all about, first and foremost, being physical with the line of scrimmage, and second of all, wrapping up, keeping everything in front of you.
So is that a delay of game, it looks like, if the play clock behind the end zone is to be believed? I don't know if they're going to come in and say they didn't reset it. Not that it really matters at this point. Field position is, they haven't really had a strong punting game. I don't think field position is going to be a big issue regardless. But Sapolio's back here, and I know he'd like to have a little bit of a longer kick, get some room.
Yeah, I've had a couple line drive kicks so far, and I know it's probably frustrating for Mateo, but he's done a good job handling those kicks. Sometimes those line drive ones are harder to handle than the ones you can kind of get under. So hopefully you can get one up in the air here, and then Mateo can get under it and take it back.
Yeah, what do they say? First, do no harm. Catch the ball, secure the ball. Turnovers on special teams are really backbreakers. So, see if the Panthers come in again, try to get a block. Oh, Ethan was in there like a shotgun and almost got there. Oh, that takes a really friendly GCC bounce, end over end. Ball probably hit on about the 39 or 38-yard line and bounces all the way to the Panther 45. So, a good break from the Centurions, good directional punting, and but the Panthers will start still with good field position.
Yeah, like you said, great break, but still, I guarantee if you ask Coach Dunko if he wanted to start in the 45-yard line every single series, he would say yes 100% of the time.
I'll tell you what, GCC is really going to have to start to consider finding Ethan Heister wherever he is on special teams, because right now he's basically disrupting everything they do in the return game. He's in there on every punt block situation, and he's the key guy on special teams. They've got to find him.
And that's something you love to see. I mean, Ethan, clearly one of the better players for the Panthers, very talented, very skilled, and it makes so much of a difference in terms of leadership for the team, seeing your best players go out there and care for special teams.
So a couple different guys in a receiver here. We've got number 10, Jacob Huffnagel Jr., and we got Jamie Smith, the senior, to the far side, who's returned to Pantherland here for his senior season. Erdos hands it. Oh, my gosh, that was just like a jailhouse blitz there. Heister got basically beat to the ball, and that's going to be a 5-yard loss.
Yeah, cover zero smash blitz there, double outside for GCC, and just nothing doing for the Panthers up front.
It doesn't surprise me. If I'm GCC at this point, I say, I am not going to get gashed on simple stuff. Make them execute like they did on the 3rd down touchdown play. Okay, that takes a lot of skill, but we're not going to get gashed all night.
Yeah, we've seen the Panthers gash them a little bit in counter and power. I agree. Stack the box, and if they beat you over the top, they beat you over the top.
And same thing there again. And these are defensive backs in here. That was Kennedy and Mack again for the second play in row number 20, number 5. So they are sending numbers clearly.
Something I'm taking a lot of attention to here if I'm coach is Besselman's gotten single coverage up down here at the bottom 2 times in a row now. So if that's the same here, I wouldn't be shocked if we see one go deep for him in the coming plays.
And it's super interesting because, Sapolio is their leading returning receiver, can absolutely fly, but, do you put your best guy on him? Do you put your best guy on Besselman? You got Jamie Smith, who's a great athlete, to the top of the screen. Oh, it looks like your center screen that you were talking about earlier. Here comes Sapolio. They diagnosed it pretty well, not a huge gain or anything, and they are going to force a punt.
Yeah, I mean, just like we said, you got to get momentum first and foremost, your GCC. That'll get sideline pumped up a little bit. Maybe they can get after this punt, get some momentum going offensively. It's all about just taking those baby steps, sequencing positive plays together.
So this is fun to watch for me. Ethan Easter's been an all-conference punter 2 years in a row. He can absolutely bomb it. I will be interested to see where this kid stands. So, okay, this kid right now who's returning, it looks like Mac, is standing maybe, 30 yards? They have two guys back. I can tell you right now this is a mistake where they are standing. See, that's not even one of his better punts, and he's well over them. Oh, nice play. You actually feel that took some courage. But really good special teams coverage by the Panthers. It's funny, but, if you don't have film, it's tough to know. But Danny Martin did a good job, number 23 on special teams. They're tracking and making the tackle. But the first or second punch you see from Heister, you can't believe how hard he punts the ball.
Yeah, you even saw a little giddy up there. I mean, the great punters you see kind of on the rise, that it almost explodes on the rise there, and you even saw that there from Ethan. And just, I'm sure GCC's coaches skipped the beat a little bit on that guy fielding the punt.
Yeah, like I said, it took guts to do that. Heister will hit one about every game that turns over, and it's just an absolute bomb. So, all right, let's. Centurions have the ball once again, not a great field position on their own 18. Looks like a little bit of. Oh, now this is this is the other Delagos. He turns it up for maybe 2 or 3 there. A bunch of Panthers were in making that play. It looked like Fennell and Bortuziak and Jamal Brown on the tackle. But again, pretty good gain on first down, 3 yards.
Yeah, no, here's going to be key. Second down, 2nd and 7, 2nd and 6.5. Can GCC get another positive gain here to get some momentum building, or can the Panthers stuff them and kind of keep them at bay like they have all game?
You notice they tried to kind of go tempo early, a lot of no huddle and stuff. They aren't really huddling, but they're also not going fast anymore.
Yeah, it's almost kind of a huddle.
It was, thankfully for GCC, it was blown dead on another pre-snap penalty. That's either the 3rd or 4th. But if there's ever a good pre-snap penalty, it was that one, because that was about to be a disaster.
Yeah, I mean, you never want to see the ball rolling back there from the center. That's going to give any play caller a little worry.
It surprises me. This is something that surprises me. It seems like high schools are more and more using a shotgun or a pistol or something. I'm surprised we don't see more mistakes like that at this level, because you don't have the practice time that college kids do snapping. Some of these centers are amazing.
And like we said, I mean, St. Clair's thrown a couple exotic looks out there so far. Center's job to kind of diagnose that. And then you have someone like Marcus Fennell line up across me that you got to block every play. It's shocking that you don't see more of it.
So Mark Banbury, again, in the backfield, they just can't block him at all. It kind of knocked him, didn't quite wrap him up, and then number 33, Aiden Kahn, the junior, with a nice clean-up tackle. So, give each of them half a sack maybe. And I feel bad for DeLugos. He really, almost every time he drops back to pass, he has no time at all.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen a drop back where he's gotten more than 3 seconds to throw.
I would not want to block. I would not want to block Mark Banbury. Okay, so we've got about 3rd and 20 here. There's not really a 3rd and 20 play. It looks like this is going to be a wide receiver screen. No, that was the back actually coming out. He's a big kid. He got a little bit of a head of steam, but pretty good job from Jamal Brown bringing him down, not letting him break a tackle. Got about 7 or 8 yards, but not only back to the original line of scrimmage, and it's going to be another punt situation.
Yeah, great play design. I mean, you had the pulling guard coming the other way, take your eyes away from the screen coming across. But like you said, there's no real 3rd and 20 play that you have to dial up. So good job by the Panthers keeping that in front of them.
So here comes my man Mateo, back once again to get a return. He's just desperately wants to kind of try to break one. But again, I suggest that that you on your screen here watch number 24, Ethan Heister, because they have not really even laid a hand on him in terms of his ability to get to the punter. I think he blocked the first one, or was certainly in there, almost blocked the last one. So he's probably the guy to watch. And it looks like Panthers got a couple other guys in here. Number 22, Evan Taylor, is on the field. Number 23, Danny Martin, once again on the field. And it looks like GCC has called a timeout. And I wonder if this is going to be something addressing just what we talked about in terms of, hey, guys, they are sending 24 every single time up that gap. Let's put a body on him.
Yeah, and especially smaller school, less guys on the sideline. You don't have guys rotating in and out. The only break you get is on a timeout on the sideline or something like that to discuss something like that, because you have the special teams and they're back out on offense or defense. So I'm sure that's what they're correcting right now.
Well, you have 3, man. You can't take them with you. My man, Coach Holzer,
Took the words out of my mouth.
My man, Coach Holzer, he wouldn't call a timeout in the first half if you absolutely forced him to. But we end the game half the time with 4 or 5 timeouts left, so I'm always laughing. I say, good thing you kept those timeouts, Coach.
I was just going to say you should tell Coach Holzer you can't take them home.
Oh, no, Coach Holzer loves his timeouts, man. All right, here we go. Punt situation. Let's see if these have been quite an adventure so far. Good snap that time. Looks like Panthers are setting up the return this time. Pretty good punt, actually. Really good punt. Mateo called fair catch because there was a sort of a breakout down the field, but that's a 40-some yard net. Very nice punt from GCC. That's far and away the best punt of the night.
Definitely the best punt of the night, but again, you see Panthers starting 43-yard line. Another great start field position-wise for the Panthers.
The one thing I love about football, and I'm a very amateur watcher of football, it's not like I've played the game, but I love watching the chess match between coaches in terms of how one adjusts and the other adjusts. Clearly, GCC adjusted hard by sending numbers up to the box, particularly on first and second down there. I wonder if we're going to see, maybe play action or something from the Panthers, take advantage of their speed on the flanks. The other issue here is, Harks, how much do you want to show? How much do you believe in, I don't want the next opponent to see some of this stuff on film? How much of a believer are you in that?
Well, I don't know how much believer Coach Junk is with that, but I know Coach Render, we probably ran 5 plays in week 0 in scrimmage games because he didn't want to show anyone anything, and every single coach is like that, so I'm sure.
Here it is. What do we talk about? Erdos, Besselman, and that was as easy as they come. We talked about how press coverage on Aiden Besselman is a bad idea. I've coached for a long time at this school, 20 years. Aiden Besselman may be one of the top 5 athletes I've ever coached. Nobody's going to check him one-on-one, and that was easy pitch and catch.
Yeah, we talked about it last drive. Clearly, Coach Junk said the same thing we were seeing. You got man coverage, one of your best athletes in the bottom of the field, and just, hey, we're going to come to you first play, and he went up and beat his guy and then went up and got the ball.
Maybe I can coach football, huh? Even though I treat it like a video game. That's beautiful. I got to give a real props to Brady Erdos tonight. He hasn't been called upon a ton because the run game's been work, but he's been right on the money with his passes.
Yeah, I mean, the touchdown pass on the other end and then that pass, obviously, to Besselman, that was 2 perfectly placed balls. Aiden was able to catch that one in stride, then the touchdown pass to Mateo. I mean, you couldn't have placed the ball better on that one.
So Bennett Henderson adds the extra point to Panthers with 5:20 to go in the first half. Lead 28-0. Going to give a shout out over here to my main man Mitch Fawcett, who's in the working with the stats crew, my guys over there. And Mitch was a fine Panther in his day. I coached him on the hardwood as well. It's good to see you tonight, Mitch. And I'll tell you what, you don't ever want to get too high or too low on any one particular game, half, quarter, anything in any sport. But you have got to be feeling great about yourself if you're the Panthers, because there's not been one phase or one thing that hasn't looked very good so far. Competition be damned.
Yeah, I mean, it's like we said multiple times, pretty much ideal start, but I mean, maybe whether it's trickling some other guys in that might need to provide some depth throughout the year, or maybe it's just consistently maintaining this level of play. It's something that you're going to want to, and I'm sure the coach on the sideline are harping on it, continuing to saw that wood and keep going at him.
But I mean, you talk about this. No pre-snap penalties. Okay, that's a real important thing. No turnovers. They haven't put the ball on the ground. They haven't had any big, defensive, huge meltdowns that resulted in big plays, and they were really susceptible to big plays last year on the defensive end. So, those are things that can happen in week 0 that we have not seen at all. So, okay, you might say, 1A school, Gavin, but I've been very impressed with the execution so far.
Yeah, I mean, and frankly, we've seen those things from GCC. We've seen a bunch of pre-snap penalties. We've seen a bunch of, whether it's rolling the ball back from the center or whether it's a turnover. But honestly, those are things you expect to see in a week 0 game, and really clean game so far for the Panthers. Probably should knock on wood a little bit. But, I mean, you just want to keep seeing that level of play up.
Kudos to Coach Junk and the staff. So this is a kick that they get to the outside. Great stuff from Huffnagel. Lagone finishes them off. The juniors are buzzing, and once again, they didn't get the ball back out to the 20. Parks, and the other thing I want to point out in terms of the coaching staff really prepping this team well is this was not an easy year to prep, okay? We still have a lot of COVID stuff. There have been stops and starts. It's been tough to get time together with the group, so they feel like they've been limited, and to have them be this sharp and this clean in week 0, kudos to the entire coaching staff.
Yeah, kudos to staff, and as well, I mean, it just shows the maturity of the level of the players, too. They were prepared. I'm sure they've done hours and hours of preparation, and clearly it's paying off right now.
So once again, the Panthers, and it has to be comforting to every time have a long field. You really have to feel great about that. Uh-oh. Well, I did, Hark. Sorry. All I did was talk about no pre-snap penalties, and then they use the hard count.
The first play.
The first play. So I can't coach again. I'm back to ruining things. Not obviously not a huge deal again, but I don't want to be the jinxer here. So, but the Panthers, I think that may be even their first penalty overall. So pretty darn good. We're all at the end of that. Oh, we have a new quarterback here from GCC.
Number 12, Tyree Turner's pass.
Yeah, so unbelievable.
They
They may have two guys that they use a good bit. It's tough to really know, but this is Tyree Turner. He's a sophomore, a QB and a defensive back. So yeah, you might as well get your guys some reps. I mean, this game obviously is not going to be a close game, but you want to see guys go because this is glorified practice for them.
Yeah, same as you said about St. Clair. Wanting to see maybe what young guys have the ability to make plays.
Oh, beautiful. Panthers were all in the backfield there. They tried to do misdirection. Gaither and Easter were in the backfield, and then beautiful stuff from Huffnagel coming up and really making them pay a short gain. And Panthers are doing a great job here in every facet, especially on the defensive side of the ball. They're not breaking any tackles. It's been sure tackling, staying in your lanes. Beautiful stuff from the Panthers.
Yeah, phenomenal. They tried a little misdirection there on the little RPO screen run out and played fantastically, forced the quarterback to throw the ball, and then we're there to make the play.
So here we go. We've got a third and manageable here, 3rd and 5. They haven't made any actual yardage, but the Panthers jumped off sides on the first down play. So it'll be interesting to see what we see here. It looks like a little bit of a blitz. Oh, they caught him up the middle, but beautiful pursuit there. Matthew Gaither, the junior linebacker, came in and shot a gap because they looked like they trapped him a little bit there, and he made a nice, sure tackle. Did not let Kennedy get out of his grasp. That's going to be a 4th down.
Yeah, perfect play there. They bring the blitz. It gets under the pulling guards there and the pulling tackle on the counter play, and then able to bounce that outside. You never want to see counter running all the way to the sideline because that's where all the defense's help is going to be at.
So another punt situation. Be interesting to see if you get another big-time punt like he had last time. Mateo's got to readjust. Mateo's hoping, can we get another long punt this time? Maybe block it a little bit better, give me a little room, because Mateo is so dangerous. He's so fast and he's slippery.
Yeah, I'm sure he's telling those guys up front he might not know how many punts he's going to have to return back there for the rest of the game, so they better block this one up so he can get one going.
Yeah, absolutely. And what do we got? Another timeout on a punt?
Timeout, GCC.
Well, again, we got 3:30 left. They can use them. So I'm going to give a shout out. The one thing I love about this whole televising things is just hearing from everybody. I love it. So I just got a shout out from my main man, Josh Helmrich, class of 2005, former Panther standout and Yale football guy. Josh was my tag team partner for a game last year. He works for the NFL. He's in New York City, so we probably won't see him this year. But one of my absolute favorite people, just so bright. I'm so proud of him. Thanks for tuning in, buddy. I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule. Give the missus and the little one my best. The Helmrich family is wonderful, by the way.
Was that the game last year where Coach Render sat in for a couple drives?
It was. Well, those two love each other.
That was the most, hearing Coach Render talk about the decals and the helmets might have been my favorite part of listening to a game last year.
Yeah, I mean, and he flat out told me he will come back for a game because just the ridiculousness that comes out of his mouth is outrageous. He makes me laugh about 5 times a quarter. So Heister was in there again. He was like a one-step punt there. Get out of the way, guys. Okay. That's fine. Mateo obviously very frustrated because he's not getting a chance to return it, but not bad. I mean, all things considered, almost a 40-yard net back. But again, we're sounding like a broken record. Panthers hit with their own 46. Great field position.
Yeah, you can almost press replay in every single start of the Panthers drive.
Arch, one thing we haven't seen yet is, and I don't know again because this is the age-old question of how much do you show in these type of situations in a game that's not going to be competitive. But two things we haven't seen that we saw in the scrimmage were, first of all, Sapulio at the quarterback position, and I love seeing him just because he is just so dynamic. The other thing we haven't seen is they love to use their backs in the screen game. And they have two obviously very good, very explosive backs in Brown and Heister. We haven't seen either of those two things. I don't know, again, what we're going to see, but those are two things that I do want to look for kind of certainly as the season progresses.
Yeah, I mean, definitely at this point, 28-0, 3 minutes left in the second quarter. Maybe you want to try something out with the guys and see if things that you've been working on are working, but looks like we're going to get a screen there.
Was that a delay game?
Delay game.
Yeah.
Offense number 9. 5-yard penalty.
Yeah, I should know better than to ever talk about having a clean game and things like that. Yeah.
Next 2 drives have been
Yeah.
3 snap penalties to start.
I hope Coach Junko doesn't go back and watch the telecast, or I'm going to get an earful this week.
Well, I don't know why I'd want to listen to either of us.
No. I don't know why anybody would want to listen to either of us. All right, so 1st and 15 here. Erdos fakes to Brown. We got a little bit of a wide receiver screen here. This is Jamie Smith. Oh, nice job keeping on his feet. Smitty gets to the outside. You know, he was hit behind the line of scrimmage there, but good forward lean, getting about 6 yards.
Yeah, great play there, getting back to the original line of scrimmage, about all you can ask for in a play that looked like the Panthers had one guy that was unaccounted for up top that they just didn't have a number to block for. So great to stay on his feet and get those 5 yards.
Jamie's a terrific athlete, good hooper. He spent last year at Central Catholic and now is back, and we're looking forward to having him in both sports here. This is Erdos. Got Smith in motion. Here's Jamie. They did number 2 did a nice job from Greensburg getting the outside, forcing him to the inside, and probably going to be a loss of a couple. One thing I do want to point out with number 13, Jamie Smith, historically a quarterback, he was the JV quarterback and a very good one. So you have another guy who has quarterback chops, you know, on an end around or something like that, he could throw.
Yeah, I mean, everything we're seeing tonight and that you've told me about the offense, just going to be multiplicity, the things that this offense can do. It's going to give people headaches preparing for this team, and it's going to be interesting to see how they progress throughout the year.
So my main man, another one of my hoopers, Cody Marr, number 8, down to the bottom of your screen. He caught a touchdown in the scrimmage. Here comes Erdos. Nice
Great
out pattern,
route.
great route, great ball, and that is Nick DeRubis, the senior wide receiver, number 15. So Nick DeRubis, who's an excellent athlete, such a hard worker, but he has great hands, I'm told, from Coach Capers.
Yeah, I mean, that was a phenomenal route. Clearly, that's something they've been working on since early in the spring. That just had a timing route they've been working on in 7-on-7 for years all over it, because he wasn't even out of his break, and that ball was there in his lap.
You know, and I don't want to overstate it, but Erdos, every time he's got a chance, the ball's right on the money right now. Here comes Jamal Brown up the middle. Look at Jamal carrying a guy, getting 5 or 6 out of, a play that wasn't huge hole or anything. Great leg drive from him.
Brought down by number 53, Joseph Samupka.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of love on the social media for the Coach Render appearance last year. So apparently people like that as well. Maybe we can convince Coach, if he ever gets back from Florida, to come back and join me for a game this year and bring his unique wit to the booth.
Well, I'm sure if he ever makes it back from Florida, the number one thing he's going to do is want to be back here for a Friday night game, and I do not say that sarcastically.
Oh, no, nobody loves football like him. Here's Jamal through the hole. I mean, I'll tell you something about Jamal Brown right now. The first or second guy have not gotten him down yet.
Yeah, something we mentioned early in, I think, the first, second drive of the game. He has great contact balance. He gets hit, and he almost has more balance, more feet under him when he gets hit than he does when he's just out running.
You know, the Panthers have sent a lot of football players to college, one's next to me, but Jamal Brown's a guy who has the ability to play at the next level for sure, and his ceiling is high. So here's Erdos, Brown again. They are sending guys in there. I mean, they really are sending guys, but they're not getting him in the backfield or anything like that. He's getting forward. He's getting a yard or two, even when there's not a whole lot there. And looks like are the Panthers going to use a timeout here? Looks like the Panthers are going to use their first timeout of the half. We got 49 seconds left. And my guess is, obviously, it's not a super competitive game, but you want to practice your 2-minute, practice, some of the looks you're going to use, because obviously this is going to come into play the way you manage clock in the last 2 minutes of halves.
Yeah, exactly. There's not many times you get to practice in, I don't want to call it a meaningless scenario, but a scenario where, hey, if a turnover happens or if a mistake happens, it's not the end of the world. To practice against live bowl, it's going to be a 2-minute, maybe a clock winding down drill, pressure situation coming into your red zone. It's going to be a great opportunity for the Panthers to get that practice in somewhere that they usually wouldn't.
We got some scores here. We got McKeesport up on Baldwin 27-7. Behind me, we've got an actual game on the television. The Mount Lebanon Blue Devils, the hated Blue Devils, are up 14-0 on the hated Blackhawks of Bethel Park. So that's one of those games. Who do you even root for in a game like that?
I was just going to say that's one of those games you wish both teams could lose.
I love it. Rooting against those two teams are some of my, and I got so many friends from those places, I still love to root against them. All right, so here come the Panthers back out on 2nd and 9, 49 seconds left in the half. Erdos back, fakes the handoff.
What a play.
He's got a man. Oh, what a
Oh,
catch.
my God, what a
Oh, my
catch.
God, I can't even describe to you how impossible that over-the-shoulder catch is from Mateo Sapolio. Unbelievable.
That was a great little rub route. We saw that in the goal line again when Mateo scored his touchdown. Ball was a little off, but still, just get it in your playmaker's hands. Let him go make a play.
So that has to be one of the toughest catches to make in football in terms of having to turn and adjust your body over the shoulder. Just beautiful.
Other than when you're getting someone in your ribs, that is definitely the hardest catch to make in football.
All right, so the Panthers down to the 10-yard line, 42 seconds left, goal to go. Fakes, and it looks like more pre-snap motion. Oh no, excuse me, that is they broke the plane there into the neutral zone, so that's going to be half the distance to the goal, so it's going to be 1st and 5 here.
Yeah, I got a little giddy there. You saw they were bringing a little 4-boundary blitz there, 2 guys off the edge of the boundary side of the field. St. Clair again, though, if GCC keeps bringing those guys, they're going to keep running those man-beater routes, those pick routes, and getting people open down the field like we've seen so far.
Penn Trafford up 21-7 on Norwin. I'm sure the Penn Trafford team is going to be excellent again this year. I know they returned a lot of guys from a very good team last season. All right. Oh, and the Peters Township Indians are up 28-0. I'm not entirely sure who they're playing, but they're obviously going to be very tough. I look forward to that game. Another offsides. Yeah, so I believe that game is October 1st. And, you never really know who you can project in terms of who's going to be good and stuff, but pretty confident that's going to be a big game for conference purposes, so I look forward to that.
Yeah, definitely one of those programs you see every year, year in, year out. Whether they're turning guys over or returning people, they're going to be solid.
And the North Hills Indians up 7-0 on Mars. That's another section opponent, I believe. Erdos fakes to Heister, rolls right, has a man. Oh, no, he didn't see the safety coming off. He was looking for Gaither. And the first mistake from the Panthers, he just didn't see the safety come from behind Gaither, steps in front, and that's really the first big play of GCC the whole night.
Yeah, play was there a little early, but just didn't get the eyes around in time, and then by the time he did, the safety made there. Great play by GCC. Unfortunately, I think with 34 seconds left in the half, might be too little too late for a big positive play like that.
But these are the growing pains. This is what you want to see. Brady's been terrific tonight so far. He's going to learn. This is his first real reps in a varsity football game, and he's passed almost every test so far. Not going to be critical of him, but they're probably going to show him something on film, show him something he missed, or maybe he was late with the ball, as you're suggesting, and we grow from here.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, if you even you don't want to see interceptions, but those teachable moments, especially in a 28-0 game, something that I'm sure the coaches are definitely going to focus on in film, and that obviously you can grow from, and hopefully next week then you see that play like there, it's going to be a touchdown instead of a interception.
Another QB draw, nothing doing. Ehas is in the backfield again along with Chimento, and we got a flag down. Banbury was into it with a guy. I'm not sure if he was getting held again. Yeah, Banbury was getting held again, so he doesn't hide his emotions very well, nor did his brother, so but he's drawing penalties. He's really, really tough to block.
He's very, very physical with his hands and also getting off a block. So, I mean, it's really impressive to see a high school kid so good at their hands up front.
So Seneca Valley up on Moon 7-0. I think Moon's going to be one of the favorites in the section, too. They return a lot. They are very tough at the line of scrimmage. All right. So I'm guessing GCC will be happy to go into the half here without getting a safety or something disastrous happening. Yeah.
I was almost surprised to see him in the shotgun there. He almost wanted to just get under center and get out of half.
Nice stick from Banbury once again, and it looks like that is going to be the end of the first half. The Panthers putting it on them 28-0 at halftime. We will be back in the second half.
As we go into the half, Upper St. Clair 28, Greensburg Central Catholic 0.
All right.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the fine and performing arts of the Upper St. Clair Township Schools, under the direction of Dr. John M. Seibert, we present the pride of Upper St. Clair, the Upper St. Clair High School Panther Marching Band. We know from research and firsthand experiences that music is all about expressing emotions. UC Berkeley scientists have surveyed more than 2,500 people in the United States and China about their emotional responses to thousands of songs. Styles like rock, folk, jazz, classical, marching band, experimental, and heavy metal. The upshot? The subjective experience of a music across cultures can be mapped within at least 12 overarching feelings. Everything from amusement, joy, beauty, relaxation, sadness, dreaminess, to feeling pumped up. So now, led by drum majors Andrew Miller and Carter Chu, and auxiliary captains Grace Kelly and Isabella Marasco, it's time for our 2021 halftime show with the theme, Music is What Feelings Sound Like. We'll start out with the 2016 best-selling and a third million downloads, written by Justin Timberlake. Here's Can't Stop the Feeling. Our trumpet soloists are Carter Chu and Gabe Pacella. Next up is a song by American pop rock band Imagine Dragons. This is Warriors. Now for tonight's closing accolade, we reprise the Victory March and send a shout out and thanks to parents and community members everywhere who walk the talk and show they value music education in the schools. Parents, this song is for you.
There you have it. This is the 2021-22 edition of the Pride of Upper St. Clair. This year's band is under the direction of Dr. John Seibert, Marching Band Director, Joe Beaver, Assistant Band Director, R.J. Hyde, Percussion Coordinator, Jacob Rice, Assistant Percussion Coordinator, Jenny Herbine, Auxiliary Coordinator, Amber Canoza, Assistant Auxiliary Coordinator, Ron Stang, Brass Technician, Emily McWilliams, Visual Instructor, Tammy Lentz, Majorette Instructor, Jacob Schuster, Brass Instructor, and yours truly, Paul Fox, Administrative Assistant and the voice of the Marching Band.
Part 0.
All right, we're back again live here as we tick down the clock to start the second half. The Panthers lead 28-0, a very emphatic performance, a very complete performance of the Panthers in the first half. What were kind of the highlights for you? What stood out to you, Harks?
Well, you just saw the defense being really exotic and multiple, giving GCC a lot of fits. But the thing that really stood out to me the most is all three phases were top-notch, and especially something that you might not see in a Week 0 game is that special teams unit having everything figured out, because special teams all about timing, and it takes time to get that timing down. So really impressive for me seeing that special teams unit. And just on top of that, I mean, offensively taking advantage of mismatches, using their skill and their speed, and then also being able to run the ball up the middle on them. I mean, it's really all three phases of the game very impressive for the Panthers.
So if you are Coach Junko here at halftime, obviously this game's not going to be a competitive game, so to speak. It could be a mercy rule fairly fast. What do you say at halftime? What are you trying to get across? Obviously you don't want to rub anybody in, you don't want anybody to get hurt, but you obviously want to keep focusing. This is Week 0.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, it's the start of a long journey here for them, and they need to be able to show they can come out and they continue to focus regardless of outcome or scenario. So, I mean, it's a cliche, but I would say for them, you're starting the second half 0-0 regardless of who is in the game for the Panthers. Maybe we'll see some starters here to start the game. Maybe we'll see some of those backup guys to see if they can prove they can provide meaningful depth. No matter who is in, it's 0-0, and the goal should be to win the half.
I like that. Win the half. That sounds like something Holzer would say. It's 0-0. So and these are the lessons that sort of are sports lessons.
Yeah, definitely.
The character type stuff. So the other thing to talk about is, you obviously don't want to start thinking about injuries or things like that, but how long do you play your starters, particularly some of you guys who play both ways, who are absolutely instrumental in terms of what you have going forward? How long do they get a series? Do they get 2 series? Does it depend on how this goes?
Yeah, so I would say it just all depends on the feel for Coach Junko. If he has some things offensively or defensively with Coach Robbins that you want to try out a little bit and maybe see, hey, is this going to work? Can we try this front or this look offensively or these different people at quarterback? If you want to see the starters enact those kind of things and do those kinds of things of that nature in this half, maybe that's something you take the first couple series to do. If you're kind of set with how your starters are played, and I mean, just looking right now, it looks like you're going to have at least some of the guys that played a lot in the first half in there in the kickoff team. So, the kickoff return team, excuse me. So, I mean, maybe we'll come out and we'll see some new things we haven't seen for the Panthers so far. That'd be something that I'd really want to focus on, work on some things they haven't worked on yet so far.
Well, you mentioned something I hadn't thought about. We've not had a kick return yet. So this is your first live look at the kick return team, and hopefully they can keep the high standard that the special teams has brought so far today. We have, looks like on the special teams, we got Tim Spear, we got Cody Martin, number 8, Jamie Smith there, number 13, Danny Martin, number 23. They're up on front. And and that looks like 33, Aiden Kahn. And then as we move back, we got Gaither 34, Shrek 35, Lagoni 43, Travers 11, and then the 2 deep men, both very dangerous. We have Aiden Besselman, number 4, Jamal Brown, number 7. And if you do get a deep kick, those are 2 guys who are game breakers. They can take it to the house.
Yeah, and we just mentioned to start this off, I mean, I'm sure they want to see these guys out here in the KOR, see how if they can execute just as the KO team, just like the punt return team has the whole half. So let's see what these guys can do.
So, the Panthers have sort of been fortunate, and I don't say this lightly because I've been watching football for a long time. They've really had great skill position players the last couple of years, but these 2, in terms of pure game breakers, this is about as good as we've had. I mean, these guys are really good. That's a great kick, and it is into the end zone. Jamal's not going to get a chance to take it out, so bravo, that's a heck of a high school kick.
Yeah, one way to get the ball out of your game breaker's hands is to put one through the end zone.
So the Panthers are back out to start the second half. Again, it's 28-0 lead. And we talked about a lot of potential scenarios here for the second half, but it will be interesting to see what exactly the Panthers do, whether they do see any sort of different personnel. But it looks like in the offensive huddle, if I can tell, it's pretty much the starters. And so, Harks, I believe you are correct in terms of what we are likely to see. It is the starting offensive line, it is the starting backfield, and it is the starting receivers. So we are seeing the same lineup we came out as the starters, and we have Erdos in the pistol formation with Ethan Heaster to his right sidecar. And we have a false start from the Panthers, not the way you would want to start the half, so we will back it up, and it will be 1st and 15.
Yeah, there might be a reason just there. You see it, that Coach Junko doesn't want these guys getting complacent, wants them to be able to play not just one half of football, wants them to see them compete deeper into the third quarter.
Yeah, there are conditioning issues too. I mean, this is a great night to try to get your football legs. It is hot, it is humid. This would not be the weather I would want to be playing football in, so there is a balance of that. So now we have Heister. It looks like he's behind him here. Again, a little bit of a low snap. Oh, nice little draw play there. They sucked the defense in because they were sending guys. It wasn't beautiful necessarily, but they still got about 6 yards out of it.
Yeah, I mean, we commented in the first half on Ethan there, just the ability to kind of get downhill and hit the hole right away, and that was pretty impressive for him to kind of turn what could have been a broken play into something positive for the offense.
Ethan's not a big dude, but he's really strong. He's a big weight room guy. I see him up there all the time. He's a hard worker, really focused, mature kid, and he runs with a purpose, no question. So he got about 7 there, we'll say. So maybe about 2nd and 8, 2nd and 9. Heister is behind him again. This is going to be Heister again. Nice little cut to the outside. Great, very well blocked. And Harks, you talked about your receiving / tight end blocking. Ivory Travers, number 11, had his man very much tied up, and it looks like Heister will be moving the chains with a 9-yard gain.
Yeah, it was great there. You saw the receivers hat in a hat, tight end hat in a hat, and then you had your pulling guard kicking out defensive end, and that tackle swinging up through on the counter, blocking that Sam linebacker. So overall, fantastic play. I mean, if you couldn't draw counter up on the grease board better than that.
Really good job from the left side of the line there. That was Fennell and Rosenberry. Very good stuff. So the Panthers will have a first down here, new set of downs. About at their own 30. A little bit of a low snap. Brady picks it up. He's going to try to run it here. A little bit of broken play. Nice move by Erdos. Gets out of bounds. Ooh, jumped at his ankles. That could have been a penalty. Yeah, they're going to say it was sort of no blood. But that's what I talked about. Although we have, quote, wildcat quarterbacks, unquote, Erdos is a really good athlete. He's not a guy who you have to worry about. He can run the ball.
Yeah, definitely.
So, okay, we've got 2nd and 11 here. That again, we've had a couple, and I mentioned this earlier, it's tough to be doing those long snaps the entire time. We've had a couple snaps that haven't quite been as clean in terms of how they've been handled, and the Panthers are behind the sticks because of it. So I don't know if Erdos is changing the play there. He goes up to the line, but Heister is behind him, 2nd and 11. Erdos is going to throw. He has a man coming in. He rolls out, makes a man miss. He's trying to get to the outside. He does. Got a little bit of room. Turns it upfield. Gets about 3, but pretty good pursuit from GCC. And now we're going to have a 3rd and long.
Yeah, good scenario. Something we haven't seen a lot in this first half is Upper St. Clair in third and long situation, and honestly not beneficial yardage situation down in distance. So when you saw GCC there bringing something a little unique, a little zero blitz action, brought all 3 linebackers. Maybe that's something they're going to go to, switch things up a little bit.
Yeah, and the other part about it is, Erdos did a really nice job making that first guy miss. If you can do that as a quarterback, you can get some space for yourself. He did. He rolled out. Oh, another low snap. Erdos picks it up. Uh-oh, he's in trouble now, and he's going to go down. So just like we talked about, there are things to work on. It is week 0. Helmertz is texting me now. You got to get guys in game shape. You can't take them out too early.
Yeah, 100%.
So maybe they're fortunate that they didn't go right down the field, get a mercy rule. We can kind of get the game going a little bit. So Panthers have 4th and exceedingly long, but I do very much enjoy watching Ethan Heister punt. So there's not that much joy generally in the punting game, but I just love watching Ethan punt. He can just, like I said, once every game he just murders one. I love to watch it.
Yeah, we had a left-footed punter at Dayton that boomed him like this, and it was a sight to see.
That is just a bomb. That's what I'm talking about, just a bomb. He got a really bad break on the bounce there because he flew that almost 45 yards.
Yeah, he was punting that one from inside his own 10-yard line, though, so that was a bomb there.
Yeah, so I do love watching Ethan. He's probably going to be all conference for the 3rd straight year as a punter. It's nice to have a guy who's as good as he is on both sides of the ball, also giving you that in the punting game. So we got a couple more hellos. We got a shout out and some compliments in the booth from my man Nick Tucci, former Panther. Quite a tight end. Nick, I appreciate you watching, buddy.
Yeah, I got to give a shout-out to my buddy and your buddy as well, Brandon Ford. He said he's tuning in saying we're doing an okay job.
Oh, B. Ford, come on. I expect more love than that. You're coming up here at some point, so you can see that this is not as easy as you think it is. Man, these guys they're all brilliant from the cheap seats, 1st and 10 here for GCC. Oh, this is a little
nice
exotic
little
inside handoff. Closed down but not tackled. Didn't bring him to the ground. Nice little run from Mack. Made a couple guys miss and gets about 7. That's a good first down gain for GCC.
Yeah, really nice play design there. A lot of misdirection. They almost went to kind of like the play side, spread option, fake, and back into a speed option the other way and turned it right back into counter sweep. So, I mean, that was very exotic play. It takes a lot of skill at the quarterback position to pull that kind of ball handling off. So pretty impressive and a good gain for GCC.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, you got to try something. They've not blocked him very well, so misdirection type stuff is really something you can kind of go to when you're not blocking very well at the line of scrimmage. So very nice stuff. Good first down, probably the best first down gain of the game. So GCC 2nd and 3, very manageable situation. They're going to go straight up the gut here, but good. That's just really good stuff. That's Mark Banbury once again, 55. And Ethan Heaster also came up and helped out the play. Oh, I thought Wyatt Koval was down hurt. That would be a nightmare, but he is fine. So that's going to be probably a loss of 2, and the Panthers have set up a 3rd and 5 situation here.
Yeah, they go to the misdirection on first down. Second down, they bring that counter right off the right side and just nothing doing there like we've seen all night from the Panthers' defensive front. Really stout in the straight-ahead run game.
All right, so 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5 type situation. These are good situations to practice in terms of stuff you're going to see a lot during the season. And let's see if the Panthers can keep getting the type of pressure they've gotten. They're back to throw. This is going to be an out wide receiver screen. Oh, great stuff coming up. Just gang tackling. Very, very nice. Brady Bartusiak was the first man there. Ty Lagoni, and then a whole host of Panthers. No gain there on the play, maybe a loss of 1. I'll be interested to see if GCC, they're kind of have decent field position here. Do you go for it here?
Yeah, that looked like kind of a 4-down territory, 3rd down call there. I mean, swing pass in the flat on 3rd and medium, kind of indicating that if they don't get a gain there, if maybe they get a short gain there, they're still good to go for 4th down.
Wonder if they're going to use a timeout here and try to set something up, since it's kind of a scripted play situation where you really want to make sure you get it right.
Yeah, just like St. Clair, you want to work on things in the second half of this game. GCC, same way. What do we do on 4th and medium?
And the play clock is ticking down. And unfortunately, the tight end on the right side of your picture here jumped off sides, and that probably changes your approach there. Looks like the punt team is now going to come on.
Yeah, that's going to give the coaches a headache there for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we are starting to see from both teams really some of the stuff you expect to see in a Week 0 game. Some pre-snap stuff, some mistakes. But film session, I'm sure, after a Week 0 game probably isn't a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's not beautiful. Always things to take away for sure. I mean, in general, any football guy knows that film might not be the best place on planet Earth, but it's definitely going to be a learning experience for both teams, regardless of outcome.
So Sapulio's back again. Oh boy, that's a high snap. Very athletic play to make a catch, but he just falls on it. It's been a disaster on special teams tonight for GCC. No better way to put it.
Yeah, and then again, as we saw in the first half, GCC special team mishap leads to great field position for the Panthers.
I have to think that the one thing, if you can point to, that has been the real turning point. St. Clair's been dominant in all 3 phases, but special teams has probably been the difference in terms of turning the field, big plays, and just momentum shifts just all night.
Well, yeah, and especially in a game like this. I mean, GCC, a very good 1A program. St. Clair, obviously, a 6A school. If GCC wants to be super competitive in a game like this, they're going to have to make plays on special teams, and it's almost been the opposite of that. They've almost given up a lot of the game on special teams.
All right, so the Panthers in business here at the 27-yard line of GCC. We have Matthew Gaither here in the backfield, kind of a full house type look. This is not something we've really seen much from the Panthers. Erdos is back. The jailhouse guy right off the corner, no help at all, and Erdos goes down. I don't think anybody saw the blitzing corner. He kind of came up to the line and came.
Yeah, so why you mentioned there why the tight end's kind of in there a little bit is because GCC's been heating up a little bit, bringing all 3 backers, sending 2 backers at once. So maybe kind of bringing that extra blocker in to help the offensive line out, but still you see a guy get free, and that's just nature of the beast when they're bringing as many guys as they're bringing right now. There's going to be busted plays like that.
GCC's really tightened up a little bit on defense. First quarter, St. Clair kind of did whatever the heck they want.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how St. Clair adjusts, obviously, with them blitzing and bringing a lot of guys here. That opens up plays downfield like we saw to Mateo in the first half, to Aiden in the first half. So it'll be interesting to see if maybe that's the counter adjustment here, or if maybe St. Clair tries to establish more of that power run game that they want to do this year.
I got a great shout out right now from Chris Pantelis, Big Chris, not Christopher, our former standout at Johns Hopkins, but Big Chris Pantelis, my main man. Thanks for watching. You don't have any kids here anymore, and you're still watching. I love it, and he's very complimentary of the booth. So, and he's telling me to get back to the game. He thinks I'm editorializing too much. Probably right. I love getting the shout-outs for the people paying attention. I'm trying to get ratings here. But it does, honestly, during breaks, it means the world to this program how many people still follow it. If you can't get here on Friday nights, so many people who are out of town or even in town but just don't have the ability, don't have the time to get to every game. It means a ton that you still support the program, and that's why this program is what it is. It's why it's such a great program. Kids have had such a great experience here.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, you see support from guys that played decades and decades ago all the way to guys that played just last year. So it's awesome to see, and just like you said, why the program is what it is.
All right, so the Panthers, see if they can clean this up a little bit. I feel like they've gotten a little bit sloppy on the offensive end here. Got to start bearing down. I want to see them put this away, get the mercy rule in, and maybe get some of the subs in them. Erdos is back. Brown sidecar, looking for the screen. This is what we talked about. This is what they did last year so effectively. Get Jamal Brown, get Ethan Easter in space. Jamal Brown is so good in space. Gets about 7 or 8, gets about half that yardage back. And, that's the type of thing we saw a lot last year that I think can be really effective.
Yeah, we talked about coach making adjustments right there. One thing you can do when they're heating you up is get the screen game going a little bit and break one. I mean, never a bad thing to get the ball in your athletes' hands, and especially when they're zero blitzing you like that or they're bringing 2 guys. It's awesome to see them adjusting on the fly.
So we're probably in 4-down territory. It looks like that is going to be a jump across the line of scrimmage. It looked like, again, that corner fire, but Chase Rosenberry did a good job, the left tackle, of not flinching at all, and that's a horrible mistake because you're in a 3rd and 7 situation, which is a very good 3rd down position to be in for a defense. Now 3rd and 2, very tough.
Yeah, I mean, you go from maybe you only have a quarter of the playbook open, and now 3rd and 2, 4-down territory, you can call pretty much anything. Looks like they're going to do QB sneak here.
And Erdos gets it easy. A lot of girth there. You had Banbury, you had Fennell, you had Kirk right behind those 3 guys in the interior, and they got 2 yards easy there. Really nice push from the Hogs.
Yeah, I mean, you love to see that up front. It's always good. Offensive lineman, you're in there 3rd and 3, 4th and 3, and you hear that QB sneak call. You almost get a little kick in your step, a little fire up to see that the coach believes in you to get that push forward.
It's okay. We've got 1st and 10, 17-yard line here. Just under 6 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. A little draw. Here comes Jamal Brown to the outside. Makes one man miss. Gets all the way down to the 8-yard line for a gain of 9. Nice run from JB.
Yeah, great run. Like I said, contact balance, very impressive from JB. I mean, we mentioned first half. The first guy is never bringing him down. It's pretty impressive up front in the offensive line, too. Those guys are pulling pretty much every single running play, and they're getting in space and making blocks at that 2nd level. It's very impressive.
Yeah, you impressed with what you see? You like those guys in the run game so far?
Yeah, I mean, how they're moving is, pretty impressive. Pulling and getting on backers in space is probably the hardest thing to do beyond diagnosing exotic blitzes in the pass protection game, and they're doing a very good job of that so far.
Erdos back. Here comes Heister. He's following his block well. Nice little skip over. Going to be a 1st down inside the 5. He kind of didn't see the guy who got off the block a little bit, but did a really nice job with his forward lean. Got inside the 5. 1st and goal for the Panthers. But you saw, once again, Kirk and Banbury getting down the field to the 2nd level.
Yeah, when you see those linemen running untouched in the 2nd level and getting up to guys, it's not a good sign for the defense. You need to see those defensive linemen getting hands-on and penetrating. So,
okay, here we go again. What do we got? Timeout. Looks like GCC got a timeout. Their kids are probably getting gassed. This is a long drive, good ball possession. So the Panthers can work on their, inside goal line type offense. Got several downs to do it here. Looks like as I look behind me, the Blue Devils have extended their lead 21-0 on the Bethel Park Blackhawks. A good game for the Seneca Valley and Moon, who I think are going to be 2 very good teams. Seneca Valley is trailing Moon 17-14. Like I said, I think Moon is absolutely one of the favorites in 5A, and they're a team that returned a lot of guys. So, it's you can't tell, obviously, game 1, game 2, but these are measuring stick type things where you want to see how you fare, and then you want to watch everybody else and see how they fare. So, next week, obviously, it gets a lot harder with Mount Lebanon coming.
Yeah, every single week at the end of every game, especially in high school, I can tell you're kind of sitting in that locker room scoreboard watching, seeing who did what. So I'm sure the second those guys get in the locker room and hopefully after celebrating a nice win, the first thing they're going to do is grab those phones and check the scoreboard.
Yeah, absolutely, and you love that because that means you're engaged, you care. You love to see kids. Holzer and I talk about this all the time. We love to see kids wanting to scout, wanting to ask about other games and things like that. That's a team that is engaged. They are really interested in what they're doing. So 1st and goal from the 4. Heister, that's incredible balance. Just beautiful from Ethan Heister. There was a guy basically running into the backfield, unblocked. Ethan almost did a back pedal, cut to the outside, and scored. Beautiful stuff, 34-0 Panthers.
I mean, he essentially backpedaled away from 2 free hitters, and it's, just incredible play. Just like JB, incredible contact balance there as well. I mean, phenomenal play, that's all I can say.
Really special stuff, and Heister is such a hard worker, but you see the work he's put in with stuff like that. You see the balance, you see the lower half strength. Very, very impressive stuff from Ethan. All right, so now we got Matt Russell getting a chance to get his kicking on. He was excellent last season in terms of his place kicking, and that one is through. So the Panthers have gotten the mercy rule instituted, 35-0. That means the clock runs pretty much on everything but timeouts, so this half is going to go a lot faster. So probably people for listening to the telecasts are probably thrilled. Less talking from you.
Because I was going to say that less time they have to hear us.
So let's set the stage here for next week. You don't like to look ahead, but this game's obviously comfortably in the bag. You have a really good Mount Lebanon team coming in who's ranked second in 6A. St. Clair is in the 5A classification. They're putting it on Bethel Park right now. But it's a rivalry game. Upper St. Clair, Mount Lebanon is a throw the records out the window sort of game. You want to get out of here with no injuries. You want to get out of here with improvements. But I'm guessing that is not going to be hard to motivate the guys this week.
Yeah, there's certain games where, you might need to have a really good pump-up speech if you're a coach or you're a captain. I still vividly remember when we were after stretching at midfield, I just said, if I need to tell you guys anything to get ready for this game, you're in the wrong place. I mean, that's a game that people will not need to get pumped up for sure.
Yeah, I look forward to traveling to Mount Lebanon next week. And guys, that is one, if there's a game you want to pay attention to, if there's a game you want to see, whether it's a measuring stick or anything else, be there next week at Mount Lebanon. Be in your black and white and cheer loudly because Panthers are going to need your support, and I am really looking forward to that one. All right, so we got a kickoff time. Matt Russell's going to be the guy who does the kickoff. We have some more subs in the game for the Panthers, although Heister is still in, which is hilarious. He's probably one of those kids like Mark Banbury who's just like, no, why don't we get you off the field? No.
Coach almost has to yank him off the field. I love that.
And 20 comes up and basically steals the ball from his teammate. Ooh, good pressure from Spear. Couldn't quite get him down. Good pursuit here from the Panthers. A lot of guys in there, and it looks like Bartusiak and Aiden Kahn are going to finally bring the ball carrier down. Still only to the 25-yard line. The return game has been almost non-existent tonight for the Centurions.
Three-phase domination. That's, all there is to it tonight for the Panthers.
So we got 4 minutes left to go here, again, in the third quarter, but we do have the clock running, and the mercy rule is in effect. But, again, that doesn't change much in terms of how you want to play. Whatever the clock is doing, it's kind of irrelevant. So we do have some subs here, though. For the Panthers, Gordon Groniger, who's a junior, good athlete down here at the bottom of the screen. He will be your one baseline corner. I can't tell who's on the upper side. It's sort of difficult sometimes. Back to throw. Looking down the field, got a guy, oh my gosh,
nice
and it's
play.
A great play from Ty Lagoni. Came in, read that ball beautifully, tipped in the air, and it looks like that's Nick DeRubis, I think, at the top of the screen with an interception. Who is that? Oh no, that's 19. I take it back, that's Tyson Swigert. Very nice stuff, but that's the tip drill, isn't it?
Essentially, that was perfect execution, like you said, of the tip drill, but great closing speed, get the ball up in the air and let your guys go make a play.
I feel like the safeties and the linebackers are doing a really good job sort of sitting back in the zone, reading the quarterback's eyes. That's about the third time they've reacted, gotten a deflection, and that time it just happened to deflect right there, and Swigert makes a really nice play, opportunistic, and Panthers have the ball back.
Especially when they're kind of going with that 3-down rush and dropping 8 guys into coverage, whatever coverage it is. They're doing a really good job of keeping people in front of you, but when you can keep people in front of you, you got to be able to close on the ball, and that's something that's been really impressive is the closing speed on the ball carriers.
All right, so we got the backup quarterback here in Charlie Stoll. The junior is in there, and it looks like we have a backup tailback, which I think is Ty Lagoni, who we've seen he just did some really good things on the offensive side of the ball. Here comes Charlie, running to the outside, lowers his head, still won't go down, gets about 5 or 6.
So I think that play right there might be something that you'll see from the Panthers throughout the year when you have more of those wildcat quarterbacks and little QB power to the left, straight forward, get the ball right into your ball carrier's hands, let him get downhill.
Yep. So who else we got in the game? Danny Martin, who we've seen make some good special teams plays out on the one receiving position. Cody Martin down at the bottom of the screen. Groniger, who we just mentioned, is in at the wide receiver spot, and number 44, Cam Phillips, the sophomore, looks like he's in at kind of the tight end slot type position. I'm surprised they didn't retire my man Marcus Gailey's jersey, though. Here comes Charlie. Up the middle, couldn't quite. I'm not sure if that was a design couple step back QB draw. It looked like it might have been, but there wasn't a huge hole or anything like that.
Yeah, nothing doing there. I mean, if it was designed, just trying to read it a little bit, and no real movement up front. Kind of good play there by GCC.
Looks like pretty much the starting line in, although it looks like Ehaz is in at center. It's good to probably get your center more reps because, that's a position where you better have depth because that can crush a season if you don't have more guys.
You don't want issues with the QB center exchange. The ball. That's all that's important.
And the Panthers have not turned it over tonight, which, knock on wood, I don't want to jinx them any more than I already
have. There you go again, jinxing them.
Yeah. I'm trying to be informational without jinxing here. So it looks like we got another pre-snap penalty here for the No, it's offsides again. They've made contact in the neutral zone a couple times, right up the ball.
And that's something you might see a little bit offensively or defensively. New quarterback in the game, new cadence, new rhythm a little bit. You're going to see guys maybe jump off sides, maybe flinch a little bit, but it has been a consistent theme throughout the whole game.
So they got a first down, though. So Banbury's coming off. I sort of expected this. I'm sure he hates this, but he's not a guy you can afford to get hurt. But Jacob Lipinski, the junior offensive lineman, in the game now at right guard.
Yeah, definitely a point in time in the game. You want to see, hey, what's our depth look like at these positions? Guys kind of earn that sixth offensive lineman, maybe that backup quarterback, backup running back, fifth receiver job. Someone goes down, who can we rely on?
So this will probably be the last play of the third quarter here, but Stoll is got the snack from the pistol. Here comes Ty Lagoni. Fallen is blocked nicely, spins off him, still driving those legs. Got about 4 or 5. Good run from Ty.
Number 43, Ty Lagoni.
And that is going to be the end of the third quarter. After 3, the Panthers lead Greensburg Central Catholic 35-0. So it'll probably be a pretty quick fourth quarter, Hark. So let's give a couple shout outs here. First of all, shout out to our main man Trevor Lamb here running the camera. Thanks for your good work tonight, brother. Harks, who you want to give? You got any shout outs you want to give here?
I mean, I covered pretty much everyone. I mean, you've shouted out your entire contact list over there, but I really have nothing. I mean, just shout out to everyone back here making it happen. I
want people to think I have friends. That's kind of the problem. Ray Barad is back here, who just makes everything happen. Our tech guy. He is. I don't know anything about technical stuff, so thank God he's here so there's not a disaster. People are liking some of the terminology here, Harks. I honestly don't know some of the terminology you're using, but I have a feeling that most of the people who is actually watching this broadcast are probably football junkies, and so I think they get your things more than maybe I do.
This point, fourth quarter, Mercy Rule 35-0 game, you got to really love it to be watching right now, or you got to have someone that you love playing.
Yeah, I would probably still be watching this, but I am a gigantic loser, so it's kind of one of those situations where this may be the exact demographic that is watching this type of broadcast.
So are you calling the viewing audience losers right now?
Yes, absolutely. I love it. If you're the type of people like I do who just absolutely love sports and love kids, this stuff is great. You get to see different guys in the game. You get to see the young guys who you're going to be counting on going forward in the future. And I actually coach a lot of these kids, or have historically coached a lot of these kids, so I sort of have a vested interest also.
Yeah, if anything, a lot of these coaches right now are probably, if their interest wasn't already peaked in the game, which I'm sure it was, they're paying attention now, focusing on a lot of these young guys, seeing who might be that next guy to step up in years to come.
So we've got, this is Charlie again. Oh, cuts up the middle, gets through. I think that's going to be about a yard short of the first time. I got about 4 or 5 yards. Looks like we've got another sub in at the right tackle position, David Mejia, who's only a sophomore.
Yeah, I think we're going to get a little Coach Render special here in the second part of this fourth quarter, second part of this second half here, with not many difference in plays. We've seen QB power left. Now we just saw QB power right. So I think it's going to be pretty vanilla here offensively.
Looks like Brett Gardner, 58, is in at left guard. I don't know. Oh, this is a really nice run from Charlie Stoll. He's fighting forward. We got a flag down, but that's a really hard-nosed run from Charlie. Gets it all the way down to about the 2, but hold the phone. What's the flag?
Flag on the play. Illegal shake. Offense.
So we've
Players moving at the snap. Replay third down.
So unfortunately, we've gotten a legal shift here, and that's going to come back. But that shouldn't negate the really strong effort from Charlie Stoll to keep the legs moving there and get all the way down a good hard-nosed run.
Yeah, sometimes in that QB sneak, when you get that wedge, all those defenders diving in, quarterback just squirts out one side, and they could be gone.
All right, so we got a little bit of a different situation now from 3rd and 1 to 3rd and 6. I don't know if the Panthers will put it in the air at this point, but you may want to practice with your backup.
GCC definitely baiting them to do it.
So Aiden Kahn's in the backfield, another one of my hoopers. Looks like oh my, barely got it to him, but Aiden's got some room here. Cuts to the outside, gets down to the 6-yard line, first down. Boy, that was scary. That was almost 6 the other direction.
Yeah, that was a pretty dangerous throw. You could see quarterback kind of turned, realized what was going to happen, and put a little extra mustard on that ball.
But AC did a good job turning his shoulders, getting it upfield. Oh, they called a hold. It's coming back again. So the hold was on Swigert out on the receiver spot, but it was way down the field. I'll be interested to see if this is a net. I'm sure it's a net loss, but probably not a big one.
Yeah, and that's tough as a receiver, too. You kind of don't know what's going on behind you with where the back's going to come or where someone's coming out of the backfield is going to go. So, I mean, if the defender jumps one way, then you're caught with your hands outside. It's going to be an automatic flag, but might not be a bad play for the receiver there.
Yeah, so it looks like it's about 3rd and 7 now, so maybe a net loss of 1 because it was way down the field. The play was very well blocked once it got past the first wave. Unfortunate for the Panthers. Looks like another offsides. That's got to be 4 or 5 on GCC. Are they trying to guess the snap count? Like, well, what's happening here?
So it looks like they're using the clap cadence, which is pretty common you see with a little more up-tempo offenses. Ohio State's one that comes to mind, Penn State as well. And a lot of times defensively, you're almost just waiting there and you hear that clap and you just go, or you see the quarterback start to bring his hands in together and you just go. Could be they're trying to time it up a little bit, 3rd down, but just it's looking like GCC struggling getting the timing down there.
Yeah, absolutely. So they did the QB keeper again to Stoll, and I believe he got to that lead stick. So that is going to be a first down. It's first and not quite first and goal. I think they have the ability to get a first down about at the 1.
Charlie Stoll on the keeper, up the middle, carry is good. 100% clear, first down.
It'd be interesting to see. It looks like Charlie, they do a lot of, sort of the run stuff, the aggressive stuff with Charlie. I'd be interested to see if, they have some short yardage packages for him this season because he's a good athlete.
Yeah, so far so good, him running the ball up the middle.
This is Aiden Kahn. It's about 2, leans forward here. Now, this is a great shout out here. And he's already been mentioned on the broadcast. My main man, Ethan Dallin, our all-everything quarterback, my WPIAL champ point guard. E, I hope things are going well at Case. I miss you, bud, and thanks for watching. I know you've got a lot of guys who you love out there on the field right now, so I know you're not just watching to listen to me, but I hope all is well, buddy. So we are 2nd and 8 here. This is Evan Taylor, the sophomore back, cutting through a gap here, but closes quickly. GCC up with a sure tackle there and not much gain, so we're going to have 3rd and 8 from the 9 here for the Panthers.
Number 22, Evan Taylor on the 3rd on the left side.
So I don't know, Harksman. It's one of those things you don't want to rub it in or anything like that, but do you try something a little bit clever here? 3rd and 9. Do you want to practice something with your second team?
I think at this point with the second team, you kind of want to see, can they execute our base plays if need be? So, hey, I would love it if they go throw some double reverse pass here, but I think we're going to be pretty vanilla.
Understood. And the time is ticking down. Did they get a timeout? Or they did get a timeout. So I don't know. Maybe if they're going to call a timeout, and that was obviously to save 5 yards, but now that they have a timeout, I wonder if they're going to think over something and maybe show us something here, some type of play, just to practice, like maybe a 3rd down situation that they might see.
Yeah, definitely interested to see. Obviously you kind of see what the defense is doing out there, trying to get play called in there at the end with a little check with me action. Maybe you see a little adjustment from the offense here and see if a little chess checkers situation with GCC. Do they stay in the defense they were in, or do they adjust?
Yeah, It is a fine line. Nobody wants to rub anything in. Nobody wants to run up a score, but it's week one. This is a live rep. Nobody have had more than one scrimmage. Where do you balance that?
And like we've been saying, you want to see what these guys can do. You want to see where they're capable and where there might be some deficiencies. If there's a need in a big-time game, you need these guys to go. You need to see what they're good at, see what they're capable of handling, and see who's maybe going to be that next guy up or who can be someone to push a starter a little bit. So I think, like you said, you don't want to rub anything in, but you still want to get these guys good experience.
Yeah, so here we go. 3rd and 9. We got 6:51, and obviously, like we've talked about, the clock's going to be running here except for timeouts. So let's see what we got. We are going to get a throw. Charlie throws. Oh, it's a slant route. It was pretty well covered. They were looking for number 21, Levi Schwimmer, the junior slot receiver, and the coverage was good. And GCC had did a really nice job there, kind of diagnosing it and stopping it.
Yeah, good coverage. Would have been a great pitch and catch there. I mean, hit as he throws, a little overthrown there, but I mean, you can't blame anyone there. Just great coverage and great play by GCC.
So this is something you probably want to see. They've not had a field goal attempt today. You probably want to do live field goal, get a live field goal rep here.
There's only so much you can do in practice. Guys running around screaming a little bit, give a live experience. You want to see what your guys can do when the lights are on.
So this is Henderson on to kick. Like I said, he has a very strong leg, does the sophomore.
Nice hold there.
Boy, that was booted. Very nice from Bennett Henderson. Obviously, it hasn't been in a tight game or anything, but he's been really good with both his kickoffs and all of his place kicks tonight, so kudos.
It was pretty obvious from the get-go on the kickoffs where they wanted that ball placed. They wanted it placed in the 10-yard line at the bottom of the field on St. Clair's side, and I don't think he skewed within 3 feet of that 10-yard line all night.
No, boy, I'm not sure who has the responsibility for special teams tonight, but they are going to go to bed smiling this evening.
Yeah, we mentioned that no matter what, win or loss, there's always going to be issues brought up or maybe things to work on brought up in film study. They're going to need to look really hard and nitpick really hard to try and find some stuff going on the wrong with special teams units. It's been pretty impressive tonight.
Yeah, so we've got a 38-0 game here, 5:45 left to play. And, the Panthers, as we've talked about, with the impressiveness, how bad does film session get in terms of what is the balance, do you think? You want to point out stuff. You want to obviously use it to get better. That's what film does. But you also don't want to, have them coming out with a hugely negative feel when they played a great game and have a big game coming up in the next week.
So I will say, as it's sometimes the case with hoops as well, the best games that you play, it might be the other team just had an off night and you took advantage of it, and you might have had a lot of sloppy play. I'm sure there's going to be, especially that first drive of the second half, that might be a whole 30-minute dedication to the film session of itself to kind of let them know that if they're in a competitive game, they can't let that happen coming out of the half. So it just depends. I'm sure every coach is going to find things to nitpick regardless if it was 55-0 or if it was 21-14. So there's going to be things to learn no matter what.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Mount Lebanon's putting it on Bethel Park up 28-0. So, you're going to have to really bring your A game next week. So, the Panthers are going to be feeling good about themselves, but at the same time, it's really going to be time to bring it next week.
Yeah, that Bethel Park film session might not be one I want to be in tomorrow.
No, probably not. So Russell goes deep, directional, very nice again towards the left sideline. The first guy didn't quite get him, but again did force him to the boundary, and it looks like that was either 15 Nick DeRubis or 19, I think that's 19 Tyson Swigert brings him out of bounds, but doesn't really matter who they've had in there. The coverage has been really good. Huffnagle was down there
again, you see, regardless of kicker in there, they're kind of putting that left-handed 10-yard line as kind of the aiming point, and those kickers have been hitting it all night. And coming down in coverage, when you know exactly where that kick's going to be every time, makes it real easy to rally to the football.
So we got some other newcomers on the field. Hey, Charlie Stoll's actually in on the defensive side of the ball here. Cody Martin in on defense. We got Nathan Garrett there at the middle linebacker spot. Looks like we got Ty Shields in here also at another linebacker spot. The line, my main man Marco Carone, the sophomore defensive end, good hooper in his own right. Tyler Keister on the nose there. Trying to see who that is. That might be Brett Gardner on the left side there. Running the ball in there. He's still going, but he's holding on for dear life. There is number 78, Marco Carone, and makes the tackle.
Number 23, Tayshawn Jameson on the carry.
Yeah, regardless who's been in there for Upper St. Clair tonight, that middle has been tough to get by.
They've really not had even one play that they've sort of, broken it up the middle.
It's even more impressive. I mean, I know they're doing a 3 down front, and they have a lot of backers in there stacking that box up, and they've been bringing a couple exotic looks. But to have that much confidence in your defensive lineman to run a 3 down front is really impressive.
Cody Martin does a nice job bringing that to the outside. Swigert comes up and lays the boom on him. Gets a couple of yards, but we're going to have a 3rd down. We got a couple new linebackers in the game as well who are doing a nice job there. Sometimes the numbers are a little bit tough from where we are because we're a little high up. I think I mentioned Ty Shields, number 45. But is that 49? Is that Nathan Garrett there? And then
3rd and 5 for the Sun.
Looks like 31. Johnny McNally is in the game as well. So, and Will King, number 62. So the Panthers are really doing a nice job of showing off their depth tonight, getting everybody some looks and getting everybody some reps in case you never know.
For sure, injuries happen in any sport,
especially this sport.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, 3rd and 5 here. 3:20 to play. Looks like they're going to go to the boundaries. The backup quarterback's in. He's going to do a little bit of a QB draw. Nice. They come up and lay the boom there. Good stick. That's 58 Brett Gardner along with 70 Tyler Keister. But he will get the 1st down, but they're not making it easy and they're making him pay.
Yeah, I mean, 1st down, but that was one heck of a stick up there.
That's what you like to see. Make him think twice again about sticking his nose in there and running the ball. Number 40, Peter Engel in there right now, also at the linebacker spot. He's a sophomore. He's going to drop back, run right this time, looking for a man in the flat. Now he's going to throw it wide. That's way high. Pretty good coverage by Groniger there, and too tall for everybody, so we're going to go to 2nd down.
Yeah, good coverage there across the board from the Panthers. They had 3 guys at that side. Quarterback had 3 options side he was rolling out to, and not one was open.
Nope. Not at all. My man Jackson Howe here in on the defensive line, number 72. It's the sophomore quarterback here, the backup that they put in, he's got wheels. You can tell that. They look like they roll him out and stuff a little bit more. It'll be interesting to see as their season progresses kind of, what they do with this 2-headed quarterback spot. All right, he's back to throw now. He's dropping back. He's got a little bit of time here, runs out of time, throws a little bit of a screen, but they are all over him. That is Charlie Stahl, number 12, and Cam Phillips, number 44. They might have gotten a 2-yard gain. Really nice closing out firm tackle.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, clearly they're trying to get the quarterback on the move here, maybe get him more comfortable, simplify the reads a little bit for him as a younger player, but nothing doing there. That was pretty close to a hospital ball getting thrown into the coverage there.
And he got stuck. 30, Zach Salapow in the game. On the outside here at the bottom of your screen at the corner spot. So we've got 3rd and 8 with 1:20 to go here. We're running out of time, but let's see if the Panthers they certainly want to preserve their shutout. You know that.
Most definitely.
Yeah, fakes the handoff to the wide side. Good pursuit there. Not going to quite be a 1st down, so Ty Shields up, makes the tackle. We're inside of a minute here. It's going to be 4th and 1, it looks. A 4th and 1, maybe 4th and 2.
Like you said, though, those coaches are at attention on the sideline. They don't want to give up that shutout at all.
No, the optics are bad.
Yep, most definitely.
And the best part about it is when the young kids get in, the starters on the sidelines cheering for them, but holding them accountable, and that's how a program works.
Yeah, that was. I mean, we were really good my sophomore year and didn't play much except for in games like this, and that was the one thing we were told we were coming in on defense. Hey, we gave up 7, we gave up 0 points. You better not let up.
All right, this could be about the last play of the end. They're going to go deep down the field. They got a man. It is complete. A long pass. Actually, a really nice throw. Nice little slant. The ball is caught. I don't think because of the running clock, I don't think they're going to be able to get another playoff. They're going to try. 8 seconds. They're going to see if they can't get one more play and try to get this off. They spike it with 1 second left, so we're going to have one more play.
Yeah, it was a nice pitch and catch there. I mean, you've seen the 2 largest gains GCC's been able to get have been up that seam.
No, they're going to say that was it. And that is our ball game. The Panthers score an emphatic Week 0 victory by a final score of 38-0 over Greensburg Central Catholic. Parks, it has been an absolute pleasure having you here. Thanks for joining me tonight. I really very much appreciate it. Your expert commentary was very much appreciated by our viewing audience, and thanks for being here with me tonight.
No problem. Thanks for having me. Pleasure was all mine, and great to see a Panther win.
Good night, everybody. We will be back here in a couple weeks for the Baldwin Highlanders in week 2. Good night, everybody.